Testing, testing. Welcome to the live, everyone. Make sure y'all stay respectful in the comment section. That's all we ask. Welcome, Romans. He said, because of our sin, we are deserving of hell, but after all of our evil, God was still willing to give us his only son, so that if we repent, put our faith in Jesus, and live for him, we will go to heaven. Yes, sir, or ma'am. But that's the thing. Excuse me. People need to understand that the only way to the kingdom of heaven is if you have love in your heart. There's so many people. What's up, Dana? Welcome. So many people that literally lack compassion. So today we're gonna be reacting to a few videos. There is some things that I want to get out there. I just want to say this. I have been talking about this for some time. And y'all can actually check out my videos on my channel. Go all the way back to my other live streams from months ago. I'm talking the beginning of this month. The beginning of this year. Last year, I've been talking about this. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep coughing. Um, so no problem, Dana. I just want y'all to stay tuned because these topics are very important. These topics that we are about to touch, because people literally don't understand that the demons, they live amongst us. The demons have manifested. They live amongst us. And you know what's crazy? And I just keep saying this because all it took was Charlie Kirk's death to expose the demons. And I am so glad that it did. I'm not glad and I'm not grateful that he died because he shouldn't have died. But I can say that it helped to expose this world. It helped to expose, this society that we as the people live amongst. And now y'all see. Now y'all see. Your co-workers, they were demons the whole entire time. Your family, they were demons the whole entire. They are no longer able to hide. No longer able to hide. It's all out there. And you know what's crazy? They don't feel like they're demons. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Sloth. What's up, Sloth? Never forget Charlie Kirk. One thing for sure that we as a people that have compassion in our hearts can never forget about Charlie Kirk is the fact that he helped to expose the demons. His death literally helped to expose the demons. They were hiding, y'all. They were hiding. They act like you, they talk like you, they agree with you, they work with you, you know, they at your child's school, and the whole time, this is exactly why me and my husband is very big on protecting our child away from this world. You know what I'm saying? Because this is Satan's kingdom, y'all. The minute that you step outside your door, the minute that you step outside your door, the legions, you know what I'm saying? They can jump on you depending on who you interact with, depending on if you allow it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is afraid of the truth too. A lot of people are afraid to tell the truth. They're afraid to speak truth, you know. So I want to go to this video and I want to react to, where is it? Right. What's up, Terrence? Thank you. Yes, God does. God does love. He loves everybody, you know. That's the thing with these demons. You know, God has love for everybody. He loves everyone unconditionally. But the demons, they don't want to accept God's love. They don't want to accept that. They want to look past it because they want to continue to do bad things. And they just feel like the demons, they feel like, oh, she's, you don't have to live your life according to the Bible all the time. You know, a lot of demons have told me that, right? But I believe that you do. Especially if you want to be more like Christ. That's a shame that people really think like that, but I mean, that's the demons. And you know what's crazy too? Now, ever since these demons have been exposing themselves, like openly exposing themselves, um, anytime a person says hello to us now, even though I already reserve my peace and I'm very picky about who I speak to be honest. People always be like, "Oh yeah, you just too you act like, you just too right to speak to anybody." I ain't worried about the trolls. Those are demons. You know what I'm saying? When people say stuff like there are no demons, they're demons. That's because they're demons. So anyway, when I speak to people, when I speak to people, I've always been able to like look at everything from a spiritual aspect. So I can tell when there is a demon amongst me. I could tell when there is a demon trying to speak to me. That's why I reject their hellos. I reject their, good mornings. I intentionally do that because you don't have to speak to anybody. I don't want your demons on me. Real talk. If you a genuine person, I could tell when you a genuine person. I don't just speak to anybody. And this is how you can also tell the demon too. When you intentionally don't speak back to them, they become extremely irritated. They get upset. They get mad. If you speak to if I was to speak to somebody and say hello, good morning, and they don't say anything back to me, I'm not gonna allow that to piss me off. It is what it is, okay, have a blessed one. I'm sure you'll have a good day. I'm not tripping if you don't speak to me. You're not, it's so many people, they go back and forth. They go back and forth and they say, oh, well, you didn't speak to me. So, I mean, well, I remember that time. And they always bring up the time when you didn't speak to them. Well, I remember that time when I said hello to you and then it's always like random as ever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with the conversation because now y'all were finally able to conversate about something. So Now it's like, oh, well, I remember that time 5 months ago when I was trying to talk to you and I said hello to you and you didn't say anything back. Why are you stuck on something from 5 months ago? Exactly. We're here to spread light, spread the truth. But anyway, y'all, I really want to, let me turn this video on before I get to talking.
But how do we as Christians, we fight back on our knees. We can get on our knees.
So I do want to shout out this person. Y'all go follow them. A&Q Productions. They have 1.3 million subscribers. No copyrights to this. I just want to react to it because it's so true. So basically, they're talking about the demons that have manifested before our eyes. Everything that we're seeing now is what we were supposed to see anyway. But it's just crazy how it took Charlie Kirk's death, Charlie Kirk dying, for the demons to manifest.
We can call on the name of God and we can go straight to the presence of Almighty God and make our petition made known to him. And so when you have someone who dies like Charlie has died in such a violent way, it has worked the opposite for what they should have wanted to do. And I believe in God. I believe that God made us and created us. He's got a plan and a purpose for our lives. And there's also demons out there. And these demons are warring against God and warring against God's people. And I believe we saw demons act yesterday, the other day, Wednesday, whatever day it was. And also that man on the bus who stabbed that young Ukrainian girl in the neck. I believe that there's demon possession because Jesus cast out demons and Jesus spoke with demons, and the Bible is filled with examples of demons, and we're seeing it manifest in front of us.
I thought I knew what therapy was until I found the right therapist.
I think it is apparent that we are in a battle, and I want to be very clear today. It is a battle between light and dark. There's not a whole lot of other...
I actually want to show y'all the video, so I'm going to turn the camera. I'm going to turn this laptop towards the camera until I'm able to actually download the thing where I can really react.
Areas or levels. It's light versus dark. It's good versus bad. It's righteousness versus sin. This is not a battle between political parties. This battle we are fighting is between people who are of the light and people who are in the darkness. People who have been born again of the Holy Spirit and think like Jesus versus those, those who are dead in trespasses and sins and hate Jesus Christ. Senseless world where we live, things are being turned upside down. You know, good is bad and bad is good. And so a woman can be stabbed in the neck on a train, and yet there are people who take up for the stabber. And a Christian leader, not a politician, Christian leader can be shot to death while he just wants to discuss issues and scriptures. And there are those who say he brought it on himself. And they are loud. They are louder than we are. And they are vicious. And they are the enemy. All of this is demon-inspired. Devils are at work. You better hear me, you that are playing church, shopping around trying to find the best music, or the most entertaining preacher, but you really haven't gotten your life straight. You don't know Jesus yet. That's why you can't settle down anywhere. You better understand this, preacher. Demons are real and they're loose. Hear me when I tell you that everybody in the world lives and speaks from a spiritual source. I have discovered as I read the scripture and as I have walked through this world, 3 levels of evil spirit influence. Well, that's the first word, influence. Evil influence. When a baby is born, that baby is born a sinner. And that baby comes into a sinful world. And there is an evil influence. Not only in that child, that will continue to grow, but also in the world that will continue to affect that child. It's an influence. That's why it's so important for parents to raise up their children to know the Lord. The sooner someone comes to the knowledge of Jesus, the less influence Satan has on that person until they can come to the knowledge of salvation through the blood of Christ. If that doesn't happen, people live longer and they do more and delve into worse and darker stuff. And that influence turns into control. A sinner man really doesn't have control over his life. He lost it. He is.
I just want to say this too, since we reacted. You know, honestly, people that are possessed with demonic spirits, y'all gotta know that it's because they choose that. It's because they have no self-control whatsoever. They get upset. They get angry. They allow themselves to get angry. And they feel like they'll be less of a person if they just don't get angry. If something is done to them or someone says something to them and they don't react out of anger, they will feel weak. Instead of wanting peace, they would feel weak. So I just want to say that too. This is exactly why it's a lot of stuff going on out here, a lot of chaos, a lot of negativity, because people, adults, have no type of self-control. You said they also refuse to discipline themselves, exactly, so that they can be stuck in their worldly ways. Yes, because they feel like peace is boring. You know, I really used to live far out in the suburbs, and it was so peaceful. It was away from Chicago, you know, down in the far south suburbs. And the person that I was living with at the time said that they wanted to move back to the city, which is Chicago, because they need to see some chaos. Like, this is exactly what they said. And I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna, renew my lease here because this is just too boring out here. It's just too boring. I need some chaos. I need, stores closer to me. They tried to use and abuse the fact that the stores was actually, it was, I don't want to say walking distance, being that we stayed like right in front of a road. If you were to walk to the store, it would probably take you like 20 minutes, but in the car, it would take you less than 5 minutes. So that's how long the roads were. But at the same time, though, it literally was no excuse. They tried to say, oh, yeah, it's boring because it's too peaceful. That's the thing. The demons, they don't like peace. They hate peace.
Not exercising the little bit of light that he has or the little bit of truth that he knows. He doesn't exercise it. And when you live year after decade without Christ, Satan takes more of a control of your life, your words, your deeds, more and more. There are many people who have gone even beyond that, from an influence and a control to a possession. Yes, there are demon-possessed people in this world. I fully believe that a demon-possessed person killed Charlie Kirk the other day. I fully believe that a demon-possessed man stabbed that woman on the train the other day. I fully believe that the violence we see around this world is perpetrated or perpetuated by demon-possessed people. They've gone past the influence of darkness. They've gone past the control of Satan into a total possession where they are the instrument of Satan to do his will. I did notice that when this happened the other day, it broke my heart. It literally broke my heart. I talked to a person on the phone yesterday who was there. I talked to a person on the phone yesterday who was not more than 8 feet from Charlie Kirk. He said, Pastor, it was the most beautiful scene. Before he came out, there were 2,000 to 3,000 kids singing hymns. They were hugging each other. They were happy. They had Bibles. They waved flags. They sang, God bless America. That wasn't a violent crowd. He said there were some hostiles there, but they weren't in control. The young people there were happy to be talking about Scripture. They had become enlightened. And then a demon-possessed person
Now, you know what's crazy? A lot of these children, are possessed. You know, you said not too many people mentioned that. Exactly. They didn't mention that. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that before he got there, they was holding hands and, waving Bibles and flags and just, it was peaceful, I can say I saw the video of him approaching the so that he can sit down and do his debates or whatever. When he first got there, he was riding past the crowd and he was just so happy. He was like, man, look at all these people that came here to see me. Like, look at all these people. They all were happy, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. They was happy. They was happy to see him. But I just want to say, like, one thing in regards to children. The reason why the children nowadays is just so demonic and possessed is because the parents do not pray over their children. Parents literally feel like, oh, all we got to do is go to church on Sunday and then we found God, right? And then after that, what do? You celebrate the 4th of July, you celebrate this, you celebrate that, you celebrate this, you celebrate that. And then you be ready for your kids to go back to school. You hate when they in your face, you hate when they in your way. You have no patience whatsoever for your children because you already lost self-control for yourself. You can't even control yourself as it is. So then when it come down to your children, you don't want to parent them. You don't want to pray over them. You don't feel like it's even relevant enough for them to know who Jesus Christ is. You don't feel like it's relevant enough for them to know the scriptures or, open up a Bible in front of your children and go over the scriptures with them and pray with them at nighttime, pray with them during the daytime, pray with them. Y'all literally do not feel like it's worthy enough. You don't. Terrell, welcome back. He said, I feel it is bigger than him being Christian. Talking about black. It is about him being talking about the GAY community, yes, but it played a role, but was not the main. Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I don't feel like it has anything to do with him being Christian either. It's deeper than that, and we know that it's deeper than that. And a lot of people fail to realize that. See, that's the thing. People are allowing this whole entire situation to cause division, but the only division that I do see in this is good versus evil. That's the only thing. Because at this point, it doesn't matter if you Catholic or you're Christian or you're Baptist or you're not. It doesn't even matter if you rich or you're poor. At this point, it don't even matter if you with the rainbow community and you're not with the rainbow community. It don't matter about none of that. It don't matter about if you from the left or the right or the Republican or the Democrat. I really strongly see straight up good versus evil. It is a spiritual battle at this point. And the demons have literally showed themselves. Literally. So
Took the life of this man. You know what I've discovered in Scripture? When someone is murdered, demons rejoice. Only a demon-possessed person can rejoice when someone is murdered. Want some Scripture? Jesus said to his disciples, in just a few hours, I'm going to be taken and I'll be crucified. In other words, they're going to murder me. And he said, the world will rejoice. Then I turned over to Revelation chapter 11, and I see that the two prophets that God has sent during the Great Tribulation are killed by the Antichrist, and their bodies lie in the streets for 3.5 days. And what does the world do? It rejoices. Just lets them lie there so people can watch them on CNN and all of the other networks. Just let them rot in the street, let the flies gather over their corpses. And what do? They send gifts to one another like it's Christmas time. You see, demon-possessed people rejoice over murder. They gloat over injustice.
This is what Ivy League universities
they do.
get into with a 3.
They do, and they're doing it now.
90% of students.
And they doing it blatantly. They have no regards to another human's life. Even though they're human themselves. But the thing about it is Spiritually, they're demons. They're just in human form. You know, they have skin like us. They talk just like us. It kind of reminds me of AI. You know, when I think about the way that these demons are exposing themselves all online and blatantly, and they just don't care, it reminds me so much of AI, and how AI is so deceiving nowadays. People can't even tell the difference. They can't even tell the difference, and that's a shame. You know, people don't even use their discernment because, to be honest, they have none. You know, people just, they let everything fly right over their heads. People don't pay attention to detail. That is another issue. They don't care. Demons, they don't care. They don't pay attention to detail. They don't pay attention to their surroundings. They're not aware. They don't feel like they need to be aware. That's the thing. Demons literally reject everything. Everything that you tell them to do right, they reject it. They don't want to do right. They don't want to look over their shoulder because they feel like, I don't got to look over my shoulder. Ain't nobody after me. Yeah, okay. Then when you try to tell them, like, yeah, you know, it's crazy people out here, you know, in this world, you got to make sure that you got to make sure that you looking over your shoulder. Oh no, I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that. It's like, what? So you would rather someone randomly attack you? Uh, April says the devil knows his time is short. You know, Don, the title is always gonna be pinned below. Um, the topic is right there below. If you look down, it's pinned. But yeah, you know, the devil does know that his time is short. His time is short, and see, that's why he's exposing himself. He's coming within people, and they're exposing themselves on TikTok. It's a few other videos I want to show y'all after this, man. I got to really show y'all, you know, how demons have manifested. They're here. They live amongst us. They are content creators, bro. They content creators. They your family members. I feel like I got to keep saying this because people really don't understand it. They just really believe that a demon is just this unrealistic figure, this red person, this red thing that's not human with horns on his head, and you know, just long claws and a tail and just really big and strong. And I'm telling you, man, the demons is sitting right before your very eyes. You work next to them every day. You drop your children off at the same school that they attend. Real talk. You said people are reading tarot cards saying they talking to, you know what I'm saying? They ain't talking to, no, they talking to their God. Their God is who they're talking to. They definitely ain't talking to, you know, Jesus Christ. Yep. People feed them money for sure. You know, witchcraft is, man, witchcraft nowadays is just so normalized. And a lot of women, they love witchcraft. You know, I would have never thought that black women especially would be so deep into witchcraft and voodoo and you know, sage. And I'm telling y'all, man, I'll never forget. I had this one person come on over to my house, and they visited for a few days from out of town. And there was something that they was going through. Something they was going through. I told them, I said, you should just pray. Just pray about it. Yeah, I prayed. I prayed to God, and now what I'm gonna do is I have to do this. And they pulled the sage out and lit it up. Lit it up by my back door. And when I tell you, I told them, no, absolutely not. Get your behind out my house. You lighting up sage in my house because of what you're going through? When I tell you I had to pray over my house, my whole entire house, had to pray. Because the demons within them, the demons within them, it allowed her to take the sage out of her bag, and she lit it up, and she just started going like this, going, oh my God. And then she got a Bible at the same time. Literally. You cannot worship two masters. You know what they say about people like that? Sage is for demons. Seriously. It is. Burning sage is very demonic. you know, all of the crystals, sage, tarot card readings, uh, psychics, all of that. And then y'all know what's crazy? I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was younger, like way younger, I used to really believe in psychics. I really used to sit there and watch uh y'all remember the Montel show? The Montel, what's his name? Montel Brown or something like that. Back when I was younger, I used to watch Montel, and he used to bring that psychic on his show, and I really used to believe her. I really used to believe her. I hated when people would try to debunk psychics and say that they're lying. Montel Williams, yeah. I hate it when they really try to say psychics were lying, because I'm like, no, psychics are not lying. They're for real. They're real. They're real. No, 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 no. They not. They not. Because no one has the ability and the power to see things in the future other than the Most High God, because He sees your future. He knows your journey. You don't even know your own journey. He does. He got it all written out for you. But see, the system, the government believes that they got the blueprint to life. They believe that there is a certain way to live life. And that certain way is the American dream in their eyes. You know, I mean, if you ask me, idolizing the American flag is demonic. And I know a lot of people gonna get upset because I said that, but we cannot idolize things. We can't. People be like, waving the flag, and they bow down to the flag, and they put their hand on their chest for the flag. And I stopped doing that when I was in 7th grade, because I believed that it was wrong. I started to really see that very young, you know, age of 13, 14. I couldn't do it no more. I took the risk, and I would get suspended every time. My teacher would suspend me for not worshiping the American flag, And I'm like, I would get in trouble when I get home, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stand for a flag. Like, these kids in my class, they don't even stand for God. You know what I'm saying? So why would I need to stand up for a flag for? Um, uh-oh. I think I just went back on accident. Uh, okay, I'm gonna read your comment in a second. I think I just accidentally. Okay. Bruce is loose says that woman followed Paul and Silas around. That lady could see the future. She made her masters a bunch of money. I think what is uh I don't know who you talking about. I probably missed what you meant. But you said evil thoughts also like being negative to saying things like just worried about you is a form of witchcraft. You know, I'm telling you, people really don't listen. You have to question people when they call your phone and they say stuff like, "Oh, I was worried about you." Why are you worried about me though? Oh, I was worried that something happened to you. I seen something on the internet, and it said that a 31-year-old black woman was injured in a car accident, so I thought it was you. Why would you think that's me out of millions? Millions. Like, it is, I feel like it is a form of witchcraft to tell someone that you're concerned and worried about them. Because if you believe in your mind that you got faith in God, then you would keep that faith, and you would know that nothing bad happened to me. Vi says psychics get their information and power from demons. Yes, they do. From a very demonic realm, but let me tell it, I'm wrong. Let me tell it, I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying anything, but see, those are the demons. The ones that reject the truth. Those are the demons, bro. Those are the demons that live amongst us. I'm trying to go back because I think I
Just let some lie there so people can watch them on
Oh, okay.
CNN and all of the other networks. Just let them rot in the street. Let the flies gather over their corpses. And what do? They send gifts to one another like it's Christmas time. You see, demon-possessed people rejoice over murder. They gloat over injustice. Mark chapter 5. Jesus came to the other side of the country of the Gadarenes. When he got out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. There it is. A man with an unclean spirit. That is at his dwelling among the tombs. He lived in the graveyard. No one could bind him. He's in bondage. They tried it with shackles and chains, but he broke them. And all night long, every day, he was in the tombs and the mountains, crying out, screaming, and cutting himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and worshiped him. Watch, look at the pronouns. And he cried out with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God that you do not torment me." For he said, "Come out of the man, unclean spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What's your name?" He said, "My name," suddenly it changes, "my name is Legion, for we are many." And he begged him earnestly that he would not send them out of the country. A large herd of swine was feeding there. So all the demons begged him, saying, "Send us to the swine that we may enter them." Jesus gave them permission. The unclean spirits, plural, went into the pigs, and the pigs went down into the sea. They destroyed the pigs. In Mark chapter 5, someone who had a demon was in bondage. Demons bind people. This person was crying out. Demon-possessed people are vulgar and loud and vile, and they curse, and they do their best to spew their filthy tongues over the airways and in people's faces. Have you seen how people are acting in public? Do you know the word most used now? Of course you do. It is abhorrent the way people talk in public. And I mean even politicians. These people are demon-possessed. You don't stand up as a representative of a state or a county or a country in front of a microphone to the nation or the world and curse and swear and call people names. You just don't do it unless you have a devil in you. We go on. Not only was he crying out, he was cutting himself. That's what demons do to people. They start cutting the body, the temple of the Holy Spirit. For years, all we heard about was how young people are cutting themselves. I never could figure, I still don't know what that meant. Why would you do that? And what could be worse than having your body cut on just to change your gender? Folks, this is demonic. We're not just in a social upheaval. We're in a spiritual war. And darkness is screaming. And darkness is bringing bondage. And darkness is vulgar. And darkness is abusing people. I want you to notice how violent he was. Violent! Nobody could bind this man. Chains, ropes, whatever. He'd snap them because he was so violent. I'm going to say something here. I did notice that after the murder the other day of Charlie Kirk, no buildings were burned. I heard it said. No cars were burned. No police were shot. There were no riots in the streets. You figure that one out. Demons love violence. They thrive on violence. And then I noticed that he said, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God?" Even demons can refer to God. When it's necessary, when it's convenient, they can refer to God. And then I noticed, "I implore you by God that you do not torment me." This is unbelievable. The very devil who is tormenting the man is accusing Jesus of tormenting him. Is that what they call gaslighting? I'm serious, is it?
Yes. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is what these demons do all the time, man. And I just feel like that is very toxic. When you around somebody that consistently gaslights you every time and they put everything back on you, knowing that you ain't do nothing wrong, they try to make you feel like you wrong. They want you to feel wrong because you made them feel wrong. These demons, they don't like to feel wrong. They believe that they're right through everything, and they, my bad, y'all. Oh, I thought it was somebody in the live stream that was saying something crazy. Uh, but yeah, April says being grounded in the word and your faith, the Holy Spirit gives discernment. Yes. Yes. Chris, welcome, Chris. McGee. Who is McGee? Right. They just so demonic and yeah, those are the demons that's coming through in the live stream. Anytime they have to have, you know, they have to question you and say stuff like, well, don't you say stuff like, oh my God, isn't that using God's name in vain? You see how they try to gaslight you and they try to make you feel like you're wrong and you're doing something wrong, because they know that what's being talked about is the truth. And they know that, wow, wait a minute. Is he saying I'm a demon? So now he's saying I'm a demon and she really reacting to this and she trying to say I'm a demon. I didn't say your name because I don't even know you. That's the thing. People, they come on the live streams and they immediately believe that you're talking about them. You want to know why? Because those are demons, bro. Those are demons, bro. They really, 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 really love chaos. They really love it. Yes, they do. They have a short attention span. Yep. They hate truth. They hate light. Y'all, I have made demons expose themselves time and time and time and time and time again. Time and time again. Since I was a little girl, I used to have the demons because I knew what was right and what was wrong at times. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say all the time because I was still young. But the things that I knew that was right, I knew that it was right. And if anybody tried to go against what was right, I made them expose themselves. Like, for instance, standing for an American flag, bro. Like, literally putting your hand on your chest and saying, I forgot the name of that, y'all. But, I'm not gonna idolize things. I'm not gonna idolize things. And then when I talk about it, I'm wrong. You know, I talk about it and they try to bring up something that I did. Well, you said that you're not gonna idolize nothing, but you celebrate birthdays. And it's crazy because I don't, so like how I used to celebrate birthdays. I used to celebrate Christmas. I used to celebrate Thanksgiving. I used to do all of that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you in regards to celebrating a birthday, you know, it is something to be grateful for. To be able to see another year is something just so great. And I'm not going to make an excuse to celebrate because I'm not the celebration type of celebrations that I used to do years ago, 3, 4 years ago. I used to go all out. I'm buying this, I'm buying that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Gifts under the Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Thanksgiving, all of that, man. That's idolizing. But I be wrong when I talk about stuff like that to the demons.
On somebody else. Your guilt goes on somebody else. What you are, you're trying to make them feel like. That could be the first instance that I've seen in the Bible of gaslighting. This devil said to Jesus, did you come to torment us? And Jesus doesn't even have a conversation with him because the devil is the one that torments. And the devil is the one that will grind your soul and make you wish you were dead. Jesus said, come out of the man. What is your name? My name is Legion. We are many. You have no idea. When you live in this world, when you get up, when you leave this seat and walk out into that world, you have no idea when you interact with people how many people have devils inside of them.
I promise you. I had to pause it right there because this is the part right here that I'm talking about. Hold on, let me rewind that again. because what he said, man, is so true.
When you get up, when you leave this seat and walk out into that world, you have no idea when you interact with people how many people have devils inside of them.
I'm telling you, bro, this is exactly why I don't talk to people. I'm telling you, when I get up and I have somewhere that I have to be and I have somewhere that I have to go, and the minute that I walk out this door into Satan's kingdom, first of all, when I get up first thing in the morning, I immediately say a prayer. Me and my husband, we are praying people. We say a prayer because we know that this world is chaotic, is negative, and is demonic. So we literally have to put on the whole armor of God before we leave out our house. Because at this point, we know that we have to potentially conquer the demons. Real talk. Depending on who tries to interact with us or who we have to interact with. Seriously. And when I say have to, if we got somewhere that we got to go and we got to take care of business and we got to get things done, we're going to have to interact with a person. And, we don't know how many people got these demons, but see, the thing is, the best part about it is the fact that, we can literally see that. We can see that. This is exactly why I be so picky with who I speak to or who says stuff like, hey, good morning. I look at them really quickly, really quickly. And I say, good morning. If it sounds genuine, if I feel like it's genuine. But if I don't feel like it's a genuine good morning and you just look like you got an attitude, you showing that you got an attitude, and it's like, good morning. I'm not about to say nothing to you. I hate the program Good Mornings, the program Have a Great Day, especially the people that's handing you, that's ringing up your stuff in the store and they hand you your bag. They just be like, okay, your total is, and it's like as they're talking to you, you can literally tell that they have a demon attached to them. Your total is $19.25. Shit. I mean, you don't look like you too happy yourself. So now you reaching in your pocket. You see the demon getting a little irritated. You got demons standing behind you in line, getting irritated and stuff, mad, throwing their stuff up there because they feel like you're taking all day. You taking up their time because you trying to dig for 25 cents. Then as soon as you give them the money, they give you your receipt. Have a good day. You sure? You sure you want me to have a good day? I can't deal with the little programmed ways of, the programmed way of life is just very annoying. You only say have a great day because you were taught to say have a great day during orientation. You don't really mean that. You only say good morning because you were programmed to say good morning. You don't really mean that. Yeah, it's like you can see the demons on the outside. Seriously. And if you look hard enough, you definitely will see it. So I'm trying to see, I keep doing this. I don't know why this keep happening. I keep accidentally pressing the button to make it rewind again. And I need y'all to be patient. Right. You the one sound like you upset. You telling me to have a great day. Shoot, you think you gonna have a great day?
For years, all we heard about was how young people are cutting themselves.
Right. And we seen that part already. Jeez. I don't know why this keep happening. Okay. Okay. There is a part, I don't know. I don't think y'all gonna like that part. It is so nasty. But I guess this lady, she was at church in this video, and the pastor was praying for her, and he put a plate in front of her, and she just started coughing and coughing and coughing, and she's coughing up white stuff. And I lived in a house with somebody. And I mean this, and I told my husband, I said, I believe that this person was very possessed because Number one, it wasn't even just the things that they were saying that showed that they were possessed. It wasn't even just the hatred, you know what I'm saying, that we felt from them, and the hatred that they showed towards us, but it was more so like the sounds that they would make all through the day, all through the night. All you hear is like, and I used to tell my husband, like, I believe that this person is very possessed. And it was just, it was sick. It was sad. So I do want to say this. A lot of people, they're going to assume, they're going to be like, oh, you must be talking about this person because you live with this person your whole entire life. Actually, no. I used to couch hop a lot. I used to live with different people a lot before I became stable enough to have my own spot. But when I used to live with different people, some of these people that I used to live with, they had demons. Literally demons that they were fighting. It was to the point where the room that I was sleeping in, I had to make sure it was locked. Because I don't want to have to sleep with one eye open. You know? Exactly. They be programmed to ask how you doing, and they don't even care. They don't care how you doing. You want to know how I know they don't care? Because there was times that I gave people the benefit of the doubt, and I would literally reply back and say, "Oh, I'm doing good. What about you?" And you hear complete silence, and they just keep walking. And it's like, okay, so why would you ask me, "Hello, how are you doing?" You don't mean that. It is programmed, literally, y'all. Just y'all gotta understand something too. Stop just talking to anybody. Stop talking to anybody. People will literally ask you, "Hey, how you doing?" and don't even care about your responses because they are programmed. People will literally tell you good morning because they are programmed. They'll tell you to have a good day because they are programmed. Seriously. Oh, okay. So he said, all right.
No idea when you interact with people how many people have devils inside of them that have latent plans to at some point explode and do harm or damage to somebody. My name is Legion, for we are many. Oh, what a horrible thing for a man to be the dwelling place of devils when God designs you to be the dwelling place of the Holy Spirit. That's exactly what Satan gloats in, the fact that he took over a dwelling place that God wants to live in, and now he's in it. You see, let me just say this. They said, don't just send us out. Demons want to live in flesh and blood. They don't want to just float through the sky. They want to inhabit something that has a heart that beats flesh and blood. Jesus said, you can go to the pigs, and they went, but even pigs would rather be dead than have the evil, possessive devils inside of them. And notice what demons will eventually do to whomever they live in. They will destroy them. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me this morning? You don't just live a life without Christ. Your life deteriorates and it degrades into more and more darkness and evil. Nothing ever gets better. It always demises into that which will eventually destroy you. And that's why I've come here today to tell the church one more time we are in a battle. And we are too passive, and we're not spiritually militant enough. And we've got this idea that we're just supposed to be quiet. We don't create a ruckus. We don't want to stir anybody up. Everywhere Jesus Christ went, he stirred things up. Everywhere Paul the Apostle went, he caused a riot and stirred things up. We are afraid of confrontation. We're afraid of our reputation, of losing our jobs. We're afraid we're going to
be... He said it right there for y'all. He said it right there for the people. Y'all are afraid to lose y'all jobs. Y'all afraid to be broke. Y'all afraid to not have any money in your bank account. You afraid that if you don't go to work and make money, your bills ain't gonna get paid. You afraid. Y'all are afraid. People literally live in fear every day of their lives. This is why they force themselves to go to a job that they hate so much. And if you hate that job, just stop working. Just stop working. And every time I say stuff like that, it's like, oh, well, would you do it? Yeah, I would. I did it plenty of times. I did it. I did it. And I was proud of myself for doing it. And people like friends, like family members talk down on me for doing that. And they said, oh, why would you do that? Why would you stop working? You give up too easily. First of all, I didn't come to work to be stressed out by a supervisor. I didn't come to work to be stressed out by a coworker. I came to work to work. All right? To do it so that I can work, to do it because I actually was enjoying it before my peace got disturbed. I don't want my peace to be disturbed every day of my life. And this is optional to me. I can seek another position. I can make myself available for another company that knows that I am worth their time. That won't give me hell on a job. I will literally sit and reserve my peace for however long I got to until I know that they chose the right person. you know, People force themselves to go to work only because they're afraid to be broke. That's the real truth. That is the real truth. It is what it is for me. And then people be afraid to get fired from their jobs and stuff like that too. This is exactly why they kiss their supervisors' asses, even though their supervisor is being evil towards them, treating them differently, cutting their hours, cutting their checks, things like that. They just so afraid. Yeah, they need something to complain about. It's people out here, they literally go to a job that they hate just so that they can complain to their friends and their family about it, just so they can get online and, complain about it. You know, I went to work today, and this coworker that's been aggravating me for the last 3 years, like 3 years, I don't see how you could be aggravated by a coworker for 3 years straight. And then my supervisor, oh my God, don't make me talk about them. The supervisor does the same exact thing. So why are you forcing yourself in that type of environment when you ain't even gotta be? Oh, my bad. You want to know why? It's because people are terrified. They are, when I tell you, man, people, it ain't even just the terror. It's literally pride. 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 Klasky, what's up? Zip, what's up? Classy says we miss you, Mr. Kirk. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much what this live is about too, Klasky, to be honest. I'm talking about how the demons are no longer hiding. Charlie Kirk's death has literally influenced these demons to show themselves. Vi says, how do you pay your bills? How do you pay your bills if you stop working? There are no perfect companies because you don't have to put yourself in that position. That's the thing. There ain't nobody is pointing the gun to your head. Like nobody's pointing the gun to your head for you to go to work. And that's my thing. Like I used to be one of those people as well, Vi. Every company ain't bad. You said there are no perfect companies. Every company ain't bad, to be honest. And honestly, it ain't the company, it is the people. It's the people. The people are possessed. The people are possessed with demons in these companies, which makes the company bad. Seriously. How do you pay your bills? Man, God got you. If you a believer in the Most High God, man, He got you. He got you covered. Believe me. I've been there. I've been there. I had to make so many sacrifices, man. When I tell you, I had to get to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. Ain't nobody putting a gun to my head and making me go to work. I don't have to work. I don't have to if I don't want to. If I don't want to. If I'm sick and tired of the BS on the job, no matter how high up I go and try to report these people, it still come back on me. At the end of the day, I don't have time for that. Real talk. So I leave. Clock out. What they gonna do? Hurt you? Harm you? You know? Hit you with a DNR. That's all they gonna do. Do not return. Okay, bye-bye. See you later. God bless. Uh, Mr. Kane says people say health is wealth, but working so much they become wealthy. Exactly. Wealthy and unhealthy. And people be working, working, working until their body break down. I have literally watched someone that I know that worked for 30 plus years until their body broke down. They dealt with demons on the job every single day. They would complain about it all the time. They would talk about how they're gonna eventually find them a new job, but they didn't. You said the Bible says, "Woe to the inheritance of the earth, because the devil has been cast to earth." This is Satan's kingdom. And all we can do is pray. When we get these jobs, you pray before you go to work, pray at work. You pray as much as you want to pray. But at the same time, though, you do not have to put yourself in a position that you do not want to be in. Seriously. It was times where spiritual warfare for me became physical. Because there was this one guy that was a supervisor at a job that I used to work at. You know, he was single, desperate for a woman. The sad part about it is he was my supervisor. And got upset when I didn't give him no play. So on lunch break, I could have sworn I had locked my doors because I went outside to go sit in my car. I ate my lunch. I reserved my peace. I don't talk to nobody. I just come to work. I enjoy what I do, and that's all it is to it. I don't have to interact with nobody if I don't want to. Only time I'm talking to the supervisor is to ask him, hey, what time do we come back in, tomorrow? But this dude took it upon himself to open up my car door, get inside of my vehicle and say, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm telling you, boy, I have to pray later. I'm telling you. I showed him something. Get your ass up out of my car, for it be me and you for real. And when the police come, they gonna know it was self-defense. They gonna see the cameras and it's gonna show that you opened up my car door and got in my car. That's how desperate he was. And then when I took it to the higher ups, I'm the one that ended up getting fired and he didn't. Do you think we have to deal with stuff like that? Do you not know how many jobs I have worked and my coworkers tried to fight me just because I was trying to reserve my peace, just because I didn't want to talk to nobody, I didn't want to deal with anybody, because I'm hearing them gossiping, amongst one another, always gossiping about something, talking about something negative, you know, telling me that I'm talking to other people about me, that I'm too good, she just too good for a conversation. She just too good. But people don't even understand. Yes, I am too good to speak to demons. That's the thing. I'm too good to talk to the demons. I'm trying to reserve my peace. I don't want to be a part of you and your little nasty conversations. I don't want to talk about stuff like that. You said I make $278 a day drinking beer and eating chili dogs. Smoking weed is a fringe benefit. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah. Yeah. I don't know, dude. Right. When you walk by faith of God, anything is possible. See, right now at this moment, people believe that I'm just making excuses. I'm making excuses because they love worldly things. That's the thing, man. At the end of the day, take it from a person like me. I've been there, done that. I done lost plenty of jobs. I done lost out on money. And guess what? Guess who had my back through all of that? Man, I'm telling you, I'm a walking testimony. God, the Most High. And if you believe like you say you do, you wouldn't be afraid to not pay a bill. If you believe like you say you do, you wouldn't be afraid to be without a job, to be without money. You wouldn't be afraid because you would know that money is just a tool. Money is just a tool. But let's get back to it. Obviously, we had to cut somebody out that, man, I'm telling y'all, man, these demons, they be in disguise for real. Okay, I think I muted it. Give me a second. Let's go back a little bit.
Jesus Christ went, he stirred things up. Everywhere Paul the Apostle went, he caused a riot and stirred things up. We are afraid of confrontation. We're afraid of our reputation, of losing our jobs. We're afraid we're going to be called bigots and accused of bias. But I'm up here this morning to tell you that I can't do that anymore. I know you think, well, Pastor, you've never held back. No, I haven't held back. But sometimes out in public I have, because I just didn't want to get into it. But I have decided, I don't know how much longer I've got. The gospel is the greatest thing that can be told. And if I don't tell them, who will? If you don't say it, who will? If you don't stand up, who will stand up? Hallelujah.
So I have a hot take.
If you don't stand, who will, man? Do y'all not know how many people come at me every time I talk about jobs? Hey, I highly suggest that y'all go to my channel.
That's why.
Listen, if anybody want to challenge me on working a job or anything like that, go to my channel and go to my video section and go all the way back to, what was that, 2022? I think it was 2022 for sure. Go all the way back to 3 years ago. And you will see that I talked about jobs. Why did I talk about jobs? Because me and my husband had just overcame homelessness. And even when we overcame homelessness, we were still having trouble finding work. And even when we were homeless, we tried to get people to understand how difficult it was to have a job, to keep a job. See, let me tell you something. When you walk with the light in you and you amongst demons, it's going to be hard for you to keep a job. It's going to be hard for you to maintain a job. It's going to be hard for you to get hired at a job, because see, these jobs, they don't go according to, they don't go according to what you're qualified at doing. They don't see stuff like that. They look at you and they feel like, you a demon, so you perfectly fit for this job. Now, I'm not saying that that's always the case, because even when you walk with the light in you, you still can potentially get hired at a job. You know, a person can see the good in you and they'll just hire you. But eventually, you may have to face demons on the job. And these demons will go as far as to getting you fired. Seriously. We dealt with all that and the above, y'all. Trust me. Trust me. Yeah, and I just want to say, like, respectfully, all due respect. This is no disrespect to anybody. Cause I understand when you want to work and you want to work to be able to pay your bills, but most importantly, I want to say, don't never be afraid to be without a job. You know, one thing my husband said, shout out to him, never chase what you fear losing. Seriously. And for one, we should never be in fear of anything or anybody or any corporation that wants to fire us. You know, if you know you a good worker and stuff like that, and you got people tormenting you on your job, those are demons. You got your supervisor tormenting you on your job, that's a demon. For real. And people always say, man, I'm gonna pray for these people, man. Honestly, the only thing that you can do is pray that they go to God so they can turn away from their wicked ways. Because you can't change a person. You can't change them. You know, these demons are going to be demons. And the only way that they can change themselves around is if they decide that that's what they want to do. You can't change nobody's mindset about you. You know, if it's a job that you on right now and you want to stop, you want to give up, you tired of working this job, you tired of being tormented on your job, you sick and tired of people bothering you, it ain't mandatory that you do it. Nobody has a gun to your head telling you to work, number one. and never go back. It won't be against the law. People really believe that, oh, if I stop working, this and that is going to happen. Why are you in fear? Why do you fear it though? You got to understand everything that is among everything, this table, all of this laptop, this phone. If I lose this phone right now, I won't be afraid. If I lose this laptop, I won't be afraid. If I lose anything that I have, I will not be afraid. You want to know why? Because we are not supposed to be afraid. And everything is temporary. All of this stuff is temporary. You said the Bible says no weapon that is formed against you will prosper. You said if you are a true Christian, God won't let you lose your job. Yeah, see, that's the thing though. Right, like you said, jobs are of this world. All of this stuff is temporary. But that's what I'm saying. When you walk with Christ, you know what I'm saying? When you walk with the light in you, and you know that you could conquer these demons on a job and stuff like that, go right ahead. Go for it. I'm not stopping nobody from doing that. I'm not stopping nobody from working. I'm talking to the people that constantly always be talking about working a job and how much they hate their jobs and how they don't want to go back. You don't have to go back. That's the thing. And that's not the only job, Vi. That's not the only job for you. There's plenty of other jobs out here that's for you. Real talk. That's available for you to work. And however long you feel like you need to reserve your peace, this goes out there to anybody. If you need to keep reserving your peace until you're able to find another job or another job finds you, well, go for it. But nobody is forcing us to work these jobs, and we don't have to if we don't want to. It is not a mandatory thing. I used to always intentionally keep a job, and I would work a job for validation from family, from friends, knowing that I didn't want to. You know? Why we can't just be ourselves? Why we can't just go with our decisions if that's what we decide not to do? Versus, how we would look to the world. People be worried about what another person got to say about them when they don't have a job. If you ain't got a job, you just don't have a job. If you can't get hired at a job, it's not your fault. It's the corporations. They just felt like you wasn't a good fit. But sometimes the truth is when they look at you and they see your name and stuff like that, they just get to judging you. They judge you through your name. They judge you in the interviews. They judge you. And you said we get confused. The I don't know what you mean. I'm just saying, hey, you can agree to disagree or whatever the case may be, but this is just coming from a person that has had to deal with this, man. In terms of jobs and stuff like that. Like I just don't understand. Like, why do people sit there and they force themselves to get up? Oh my God, another day at work. Gotta go to this stupid job. So what, like, where are you going? Why are you going? If you don't want to deal with them and you don't want to deal with the job, you don't have to go. But the thing is, people are in fear of losing a job. They are in fear of losing money and being broke and not being able to pay their bills on time and stuff like that. They be trying to play catch up, always trying to catch up to something. That's the problem. Yeah, we get confused because we thought money was mandatory. Once you find God, you realize that that ain't your life. You realize that that ain't your life, can only be lived and not controlled. Right. Right. See, we were conditioned our whole entire lives to believe that money is the key to success. Having a job is the key to being successful in life. People forget that money is just a tool. Money is really temporary because when you die, it ain't going to go with you. That job ain't either. And people literally will sacrifice their life and put their life on the line for a job. You said we are in the world. We are still flesh and need shelter, food, and clothes. We are not in the spirit where we don't need finances. I understand what you're saying. I get it. We are in the world. Satan's kingdom. Satan's kingdom at that. So at the end of the day, everything that we do is spiritual. Everything that we do is spiritual. You go to work, you still fighting demons. You paying your bills, still fighting demons. Shelter, food, all that. Still got to fight with the demons, you know? But that's just, to me, like, that's just the excuse that people use. It's like, oh, well, I mean, we are still here in the flesh. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that we have to put ourselves in positions that we don't want to be in. If you feel like you're tired of working or you're tired of your child going to school and you complain about it every single day of your life, you do not have to do it. You don't have to. People feel obligated, and that is the problem. People were conditioned since they were children. We all were once upon a time. You know, we feel like we're obligated because if we don't do it, then we won't have this. We won't have that. We won't have this. We won't have that. First and foremost, majority of the times you need a big support system behind you. See, when you got a support system, you good. You got people like me and my husband that didn't have a support system when we was homeless. The only support that we had was the Most High God, and we still do have him to this day because he is supporting us in our every needs, in our everyday life. I'm telling you. He literally is supporting us. We ain't got no support system. Ain't no family. We ain't got no friends. We literally have each other. And we have God. That's all we got. People don't understand what we had to go through being homeless. When you homeless and you trying to get a job, it got to be one of the most difficult things ever. Especially if you don't have that support. Whether you call 311 or not. You go to a shelter, all that. They not helping you with nothing. People swear up and down. All you got to do is apply. Yeah, and then what? You got to wait for the people to contact you and hope that they'll contact you. It's easier said than done. I'm telling you. People literally will have to put themselves in your position to feel that, to understand what I'm saying. Being homeless was not free, man. We still had to pay what we didn't have. Still. And then people were trying to say, oh, all you do is beg, go get a job. Okay. So then as soon as you apply for a job, you still gotta wait. You gotta play the waiting game. You not know how many organizations they'll help us too. They did it. They did it. Because, those were demons. That's why. Nobody wanted to understand. Nobody wanted to care. And the only person that was able to get us up out of that situation. You said, can we ask you this, V? Who are you and will you be happy without money? That's one of the biggest questions, too. Who will you be without a job? Who will you be without money? This stuff is temporary. Job, and I've been on my job for 5 years, and I ain't gonna never lose my job. I've been working this job. See, the people that have jobs and stuff like that too, they believe that anybody can do it. You can do it. You're just being lazy. You're just making excuses. But they fail to realize that all this stuff is temporary. Everything that you have right now, you can lose in a heartbeat. And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to wish anything on anybody. I'm just saying, literally. I mean, look at the people that's been in hurricanes. Look at these people that's been in these bad, horrific tornadoes and things like that. Like, everything, they had big, nice homes and everything. And they lost it. I'm just saying. This stuff is temporary. Satan's kingdom.
Principalities and powers. Hallelujah.
Right.
Look, there's a huge difference between someone who cares about you and someone who's actually trained to help. Luckily, BetterHelp can help you find.
That's why we quote Ephesians 6 so often. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in the high places. Therefore, we ought to put on the whole armor of God, that we may be able to what? Stand up. Therefore, having done all to stand, stand therefore with your loins girt about the truth. Tell the truth. Don't be ashamed of the truth. Having on the breastplate of righteousness. Say, Satan cannot touch me, because I am protected by a shield of faith. I have a helmet of salvation on my head. I think about Christ. I think about the truth. I'm walking in his goodness. I don't let demons and demonic thoughts fill my mind. I don't fill my mind with trash and stuff that will weaken me. No, I put on a helmet, and that helmet protects my head because it is the helmet of salvation. And I've got my feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, meaning when I go out the door, I'm ready to tell somebody about Jesus, not hold it back, not be ashamed, but tell them there is only one way, one man, one righteousness, and that's the righteousness of God in Jesus Christ. And pray always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit. I'm rallying the troops, and it's time that we cry out to God and ask for strength and help. Jesus is coming, my friend, and the devil is mad, and the demons are loose, and if you don't get down to business with God, you will fall prey to a lukewarm spirit and a lackadaisical attitude towards this battle. No, sir. I'm ready for a fight. I will fight on my knees. I will fight from the Word of God, but I am ready to call on the name of Jesus and defy every lying spirit and devil to try to take my family or my church or me. Hallelujah to God.
I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. He which testifieth these things saith, surely I come quickly. Amen. Even so, come, Lord Jesus.
Yep. Amen. Amen. I want to let y'all know that you are welcome to. What's up, Stephen? And who else? April, welcome back. Welcome back. I just want to let y'all know that honestly, man, you can disagree with me if you want to. I have nothing against you for disagreeing. But we got to understand something. When we trust God, we should not fear anything. Don't never fear what you chase. Don't never chase after what you fear losing. Never fear, most importantly. Seriously. Cause I get this all the time. I get these like deep conversations with other people about jobs when I say stuff pertaining to not working a job and stuff like that. People are conditioned, and it's okay. We were all conditioned when we were born into this world. We was conditioned. This life that we live right now, the government, they believe that they got the blueprint. They saying that this is the American dream, the American way. You know what I mean? And they want you to be okay with their corruption. What he say? Fight, fight, fight. Not literally fight, not literally, but sometimes you just got to make a sacrifice. Pray about it. Real talk. And fight up those demonic thoughts in your mind. Fight off those thoughts that, man, I can't believe I just walked away from this job and I'm never going to get another one. Trust and believe you will eventually. But God, just know that he has your best interest. Real talk. And he will never leave nor forsake you. He was there with me and my husband the whole 2.5 years of us being homeless. the whole entire time. And I mean, like, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. We could have been sleeping out on the streets, bugs crawling all over us. But he gave us the opportunity to be homeless in a car. He even gave us certain times, see, there's a reason and there's a season. Real talk. And he put certain jobs in our life to where we were able to work it short term. They fired us or whatever, and we was gone. But when we had the money, we was able to do what we needed to do with the money. You want to know why? Because the money was a tool for us. And people be forgetting that money is a tool. It is a tool. It is not supposed to be there forever, for a lifetime. Like, but I mean, y'all will eventually get it. That's why I just recommend that you go watch my other videos. When I started talking about jobs. And this is not just coming from a person that just lost a job or something and now I got something to say about work. No, this is coming from a person that was homeless for 2.5 years and had different encounters and different horrible experiences with these corporations and getting denied jobs and stuff like that, and going to these interviews and watching how the hiring manager would literally see that I'm a good worker. They can tell that you a good worker. They can see your experiences. They hear everything that you breaking down to them and everything, but they just can't keep their eyes off of you. They're looking at you. They're looking in your eyes to see what type of person you are. Personally, they care personally. They feel like, nah, I don't want to hire her because it looks like I'll have an issue with her because she just thinks that she's all that, or she just believes that blah, 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 blah. And she just talks like this and she just looks and acts, you know what I'm saying? It ain't never always about like, the fact that you have those work experiences. They always just look at you and they judge you just off of that. So even when I was working jobs, same thing. Same thing. Was always there short term, and people would believe like, oh, you just walked off the job. Majority of the times I'd clock out and everything. Before I have to clock somebody upside their head, I'm clocking out. I'm off the clock. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pray about this. I'm just, it is what it is. I'm just gonna find something else. I'm not about to keep putting up with this, you know. So there is another video that I want to react to. This it's really just, it's sad, the world that we live amongst. This one guy, I guess I don't know if y'all ever seen him. He reacts to videos and stuff like that. But this is what we be talking about with the young generation. They think everything is funny. They believe, exactly, they don't even know that I got 3 jobs right now, that I can work whenever I feel like working. I can do it whenever I want to do it, but I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't have to. That's the thing. And it's not just because, oh, she must be rich. She must be getting money. No, actually, if only you knew. Man, if only y'all knew. But see, it's God. He is the answer. I'm telling you. I have 3 jobs that I can work whenever I want to, but I don't have to. And even if they hit me up right now and they email me and say, you're fired because you haven't been at work, because you don't want, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to cry and boo-hoo. I don't care. Honestly, I really don't. Because it's temporary. And everything in our possession is temporary. You said recently I had to work day labor for $47 cleaning up trash at the football stadium. Life is hard sometimes. Yeah, you know, life is hard. That's my thing. Life is hard. It is. Life is hard. But picture not having nothing. Picture not having a job. Picture trying your hardest to maintain a job, but you can't. Picture trying to ask people like, hey, can I at least do something for you where I can get some money? And they reject you. Picture that. Picture just living with a $0 bank account every day of your life and being happy at the same time. Money don't make me happy. Money is not what makes me. And a job don't either. I can care less. Real talk. Yeah, life is life, so you gotta put you first before a job, man. We got to, bro. We got to. Eventually, I hope it don't be too late when people get out of this mindset though, of like the work life. Like if I hope that it don't be too late when people just stop feeling obligated. When people just get rid of that pride. People really do have too much pride. And I'm only talking to the people. I'm only talking to the people that feel like this is what I have to, because if I don't, then I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna lose that. I'm gonna lose my home. I'm gonna lose my car. Why are you chasing something that you fear losing? Why? Why? A job is gonna come and go. You know? Cars, they come and go. Money come and go. Homes come and go. This stuff is temporary, man. It's temporary. Anyway, I want to show y'all this video, man. This dude, something is seriously wrong with him. And he's a YouTuber. And I'm pretty sure if he sees this, he might try to say something's wrong with me. I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of y'all know him. But, I just obviously we know what's wrong with people like him. We know what's wrong with a lot of people on this internet. They are possessed. These young people, this younger generation, they feel like everything is funny. Something tragic happens to a person and they just take it and they edit everything in the video and they make it seem funny, and now the whole world is laughing at a tragedy. The whole world is laughing at accidents. That new trending thing when they be like jet two. What's the name of that? I forgot. Anyway, I'm steady seeing like bad things happening to people. Look, accidents and stuff, and people breaking their arms and their legs, and hurting themselves, and the whole world is just laughing like it's funny, and it's not. It's not funny. So it's this video. Let me see. Try to blow it up. Yeah. Okay. So it's a short. I guess it's supposed to be funny, and the little boy is hitting. He hit his friend or his brother in the head with a baseball, and he said, "Oh, you still alive?" And this dude started laughing. Like, just watch.
Oh, damn. Is you okay?
Oh, he's still alive.
Oh, damn. Is you okay?
Oh, he's still alive.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like, bro, it's not funny. It's just this younger generation, bro, they laugh at everything. And you know what's sad? Even the adults do too. They laugh at stuff like this. I don't understand, like, why do y'all look at stuff like this funny? This little boy, he could have died from a blow to the head. Like, yeah, Jet 2 holiday. It's not funny, bro. Everybody really laughing at stuff like this. You laughing at people hurting themselves or people falling off of stuff. Yeah, these people, they decide to humiliate themselves in front of the cameras and stuff like that, but it's not funny though. Like, why do y'all, if a person decides, man, record this real quick. I'm about to jump off of this building. I bet you I can land on the other building just by jumping off of this roof. From this building, I can land, right? Just record. Then as soon as you record and they think that they Spider-Man or Superman and they jump off the building and they break both of them legs, why are you laughing? See, that's what I'm saying. People, they have issues, man. So demonic, the demons are no longer hiding, y'all. They coming out. And they laugh at stuff like this. And then when I talk about it, it's like, oh, you just being negative. You just being negative. So since when was laughing at tragedies and accidents a positive thing? Since when? I just don't find stuff like that funny. Like, and we're laughing because of what? See, he's definitely the type of guy that you would not want to sit next to in class, because he will literally clown you for everything that you do. Everything that you do that the teacher see that's wrong, he will clown you. And he had a whole class laughing. Yeah, demons love seeing people hurt themselves. You want to know why? Because behind closed door, this is why he's has a reaction channel and he reacts to people hurting themselves, because honestly, no telling what goes on behind closed doors in his own home. He probably be dealing with a lot and he feel like the best way is to let me go ahead and just laugh at people, laugh at them. Like, it's another one where he was laughing at a little boy that ran into a pole and hit his head. And the little boy was crying. And you laughing, bro. How is this funny? I'm telling you, man, that video that we just watched, they were never lying when they said, they laugh. They laugh. And when they laugh so hard, it be tears coming out their eyes. And that's just sad. There's another video that I made uh a month ago, literally on August the 10th. And I was talking about the demonic plague has began. You know what's so crazy about it? A month later, on September 10th, Charlie Kirk died. Charlie Kirk got killed, assassinated a month later after I did this video. It's titled The Demonic Plague Has Began. When I tell you, I'm telling you, I can literally see everything from a spiritual aspect. I felt the demons long ago. You can literally feel the demons. You can see them, you can hear them, all of that. When I say hear them, obviously they talk just like us. They act normal like us, but I can literally see the demons in them. So there's another video, y'all. And okay, here we go. I ain't gonna play the full thing. I'm gonna play the relevant pieces. I don't know all of the timestamps, but y'all just listen up. What is up? It was pretty much, it was like I already saw it coming. I already saw it coming. I'm not trying to say I'm a psychic because I don't believe in psychic abilities or anything like that. I just believe that, looking at everything spiritually, I was able to see all of this stuff unfold. I did not see Charlie Kirk dying. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was a month ago. I didn't know. I did not find out really who he was until it was just this big talk about it all across the internet, and how people was just teasing him and mocking him for dying. Like, this man, his world is so wicked and evil. But just listen to what I said a month ago. A month ago. What is a good evening, guys? Make sure y'all hit the like button for. I'm sure a lot of people is feeling a lot of negative, dark energy around them. I'm sure when you go outside, you can feel the dark energy as soon as you step outside. Hold on, y'all. Okay, give me a second. I have to fast forward. I'm tripping. I'm just doing. I said the demonic plague has begun because a lot of people are starting to feel exactly what me and my husband are feeling, which is you can feel the evil in the atmosphere. The air is very thick, you know. Um, People have lost their damn minds. You know, people are crashing out at an all-time high now. The hate is real. You know, the jealousy, the demons are no longer hiding in the dark. You know, they're no longer hiding away. They're showing themselves. You know, they're showing gladly that they are the devil. Um, and they have, you know, darkness hovering over them. And honestly, these people can be people that you hang around all the time. It can be your own family members. It can be, you know, your friends or people that you think is your friends and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it's people that walk amongst us every day. And one thing that I keep telling my husband is it is amazing to see actual human beings transition into full-blown demons. Like, how you do that? How do you transform from a regular and I'm talking transform, like on the inside. You go from being a normal person, talk like me, you know, you agree with me and everything, and next thing you know, you transforming. And they transform it because they are allowing their mindset to corrupt them. Have to give in to their own, they have to give in to those desires and fulfill their flesh. So that means if a person, if you say something to a person that they don't like, they become so possessed that they just turn into a whole nother different type of person. And you looking like, dang, all I did is just voice my opinion on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm watching Buffy the Vampire. Come on now. I feel like I'm watching Buffy the Vampire. I don't know if y'all ever watched Buffy the Vampire, but I'm telling you, that's what it feel like we live amongst. These people are you know, and it's just it is a attack on the good folks out here, and we have gotten to the point where it's good versus evil. That's all it is. Good versus evil. Good versus evil. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about who got a job and who don't got a job. It's not about who got money and who don't have money. It's not about it is not about, you know, rich and poor, like I said earlier, Republicans and Democrats and left and the right. And it's not about none of that. It's not about religion. It's just about good versus evil. And they come in all type of different sizes, you know, cultures, ages. Yeah. Because even the children are possessed. And you know, I blame the parents. I blame the parents because they are not guiding their children and they not praying with their children. And majority of the time, the only time they say a prayer with their children is when they all go to church on Sundays. At this point, it's good versus evil. And the evil ones are the ones that they want to tempt you so bad because they want to bring you down to their level. So it's the spiritual warfare has definitely gotten physical. It has gotten to a point where they want to test you to the point where they want to see you dead or locked up. Exactly. They never taught their children how to use their minds. Exactly. They do not want you to have not 1 ounce of peace. I am married. They don't want you to have not an ounce of peace. Let me tell y'all something. The devil is, man, when I tell y'all the devil is busy. So the other day, I was just chilling. I was really having a good day, you know, the whole entire day. I was cool. And then all of a sudden I go to my account. There's a warning on my account. And someone stole, let's just say a few $100. And if you really want to get technical, they stole $500. $500 that I really needed. Because money is a tool. And I really needed that to use it as a tool. You know, and it wasn't for materialistic things. It was for some things that I really needed. And that was stolen from me. I woke up, I looked at my phone, and they talking about warning. You know, someone stole my money out of my account, and that was the last that I had. That was the only thing that I had. Do you think I turned up? Well, listen. Out of my account. And I was like, what the hell? I really needed that, by the way, you know? And it did not strike a nerve that much because I've been there, done it. Real talk. I mean, this is exactly why I keep trying to talk to the people that be so hell bent on money and working and, you know, whatever the case, whatever, rather it's like, you know, vouchers for food or whatever the case may be, man. At the end of the day, this stuff is temporary. It's temporary. I always got something to say about it because I've been there. I've been there. I have been without for a long time. Trust me. Literally came from nothing. I came from not having shit at all, so it didn't really faze me. See, the devil, he strikes you in any type of way there is. In situations like that. Mind you, listen to what I said. I was having a great day the whole entire day. And then all of a sudden something like that happens. I could have flipped out. I could have crashed out. I could have went outside and said, you know what? I'm on that with anybody. And I don't care about the consequences. Because the few $100 is stolen out of my account. And I really needed that. I could have transitioned at that very moment. But I said, oh, the devil is busy. I am not. Nope. I'm not even finna let it get to me. The devil was like, oh, you want to have a good day? You don't want to be a part of any chaos, any problems. You don't want to let nothing bother you. I got something for you. I know that you really gonna need this, and I'm about to take it from you. And voila, my money was stripped away from me. And I'm just so grateful. And I thank God that I did not turn up, that I didn't get upset, that I wasn't angry. You know, I was salty for sure. I ain't gonna lie, I was really salty, you know, but I accepted it, you know. I didn't let it affect me at all because I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, it'll come back around, you know, it's temporary. And guess what? Still, because I'm gonna handle the business, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure out what's going on with that, but I'm not letting it bother me. I'm not letting it, you know, get to me. Because see, a lot of crash outs. And you said true inspiration for real. You literally lead by example yourself. Exactly. Like I didn't even have to battle in my mind and say, oh my God, okay, I can't believe I just I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and it is what it is. It is what it is. As long as I still got this roof over my head, as long as I still got food in the fridge, as long as I'm able to wake up every single day, and I'm good, you know? It is what it is. The reason why they are a crash house is because they let stuff get to them. Yeah. They can't afford to even take on what they're going through. They can't. because they have to take on what they're going through and use it towards somebody else. And they use anger behind that. Mm-hmm. And sad to say, it's a bunch of damn adults that is like this. It's a damn shame. But you talk about everybody else and how they raise their children. You know, that is just so amazing to me. It's so amazing when someone talks about how you should raise your child and they got everything to say about it online and they got everything negative to say about this person and that person, but they the same ones that ain't got no self-control whatsoever. And they would have folded in a situation like mine if they found out that $500 was stolen out of their account and it was they last little bit of money that they had left. I'm telling you, they would have flipped and flopped and snapped and transitioned fast. Have you ever stopped and thought for a second? Eva, what's up? Have you ever sat and thought to yourself, like, you know what? It's me. I'm the problem. April, exactly. You said you are 100% right. What the devil steals, God will restore. I'm telling you, he restored it. He restored it. And it took a month. It took another month, you know, but guess what? I was patient. Guess what? I accepted it. And you know what's crazy? I was gonna use that for food, you know, to put in the fridge and everything. You know, I really needed that. But guess what I did? I accepted it. I went to a food pantry to get some food. It is what it is. Hey, I had to make it work. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? As long as we good in this house, and I know that God got us, and our child, she's still good. We still good. We still alive. We still alive. We still happy. We did not let the devil steal our joy that day. You know, we literally did not. Yes, you said we struggled for a while, but uh, God amidst, I don't know what you're trying to say right there, but I think I'm reading it wrong. Yeah, but we did. You know, see, every time I try to give people my story on how I had to accept things, man. Me and my husband both, man. We was homeless for 2.5 years. Seriously. Homeless for 2.5 years. We had to accept that. We had to accept sleeping in the car. We had to accept that we had no support. There was nobody that was there for us. Strangers would, you know, ride past us. There was this, I would never forget that. It was an unforgettable moment. And sometimes when I think about it, it kind of make me shed a tear. When me and my husband was homeless and we was sleeping in a car, and I'm telling you, we literally we didn't have anything to eat. We were so hungry. And chicks, they were young Hispanic chicks. They was driving and we was trying to tell them that the other people that was begging for money on the corner actually had a mansion down the street. They had a mansion. It was like a mini mansion. And they had a Mercedes Benz that was parked in the parking lot. Seriously. They was scamming people out of their money, taking everybody money because they were using their children. And we saw them put dirt on their kids' faces and everything. And these people were so deceiving that people that was like riding past them in the parking lot was just giving them $100 bills, $50 bills, $20 bills. Meanwhile, me and my husband sitting there really homeless though. And everybody was just, we was asking people for help on and off. And it was these two Hispanic chicks. They said, hey, look, we don't have no money. We appreciate y'all for telling us the truth on what's going on out here because we was really about to get them some money. But would y'all take a meal or something? Is there anything we could do? We was like, man, look, we don't want no money. You could just get us some food, enough food that would last us for the rest of the day or maybe even till tomorrow. They went across the street to the Burger King and got us, they literally spent, I think, what did she say? She spent like $40, but they got us more than enough food to last us for the next day. And we were just so thankful. We was just thanking them because all we really wanted to do was eat. That's all we was trying to do. We didn't want no money from nobody. You said we are a truth. Would say why on camera, but look, God's timing is always perfect. Yes. Uh, Trust God, exactly, April. Yep, we gave up on asking for help. Like you said, when times get rough, we enjoy life and remain humble through our rough times. Yep, it is what it is. I'm telling you, because when we ain't got it, it is what it is. We still praising God. We're still happy. We're not letting anything or any money control us. $0 bank account or not. I don't got no money right now. That's the truth. I'm broke. You might as well say that. But guess what? I'm not broken inside though. I'm still happy. I'm still living life. I'm still grateful. Still. They tried to disconnect my life. You could say, "Oh, you broke. Oh, you just saying that because you ain't got no money. You ain't got no job. You ain't trying to work." See, the thing is, people they don't know us like that. I mean, call me broke. I don't care. Just because I don't present money or I don't present wealth or whatever to you, it is what it is. On the inside, I'm not broken though. God 365 nonstop says peace and blessings. God bless you and your family. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh okay. Because a lot of people they don't do that. They don't feel like they are a problem because nobody tells them that they're a problem. So that's why they keep being the way that they are and they keep doing the shit that they do. There was a video that I had put on a live stream 2 days ago, and there was a homeless guy, a very wise homeless guy, that was talking about how the problem in today's society is how, people don't get told that they wrong. They don't have nobody to correct them. That's why they keep doing wrong and they gonna keep doing it. We as the people are so afraid to speak up. Me personally, I would call a person out when I see a demon. I'm gonna call that person a demon. Hey, you need Jesus. Real talk. When I see a person doing wrong, I'm like, hey, you wrong for that. Person doing me wrong, I call them out. You gotta call these demons out. And when they don't get called out, they get comfortable and they continue to be comfortable with their wrongs. Unfortunately, when you call them out and you tell them what type of person they are, which is a damn asshole, they get mad. I mean, you were comfortable enough to come outside and treat everybody wrong around you because you pissed off, right? So why you can't take the heat? Why you can't accept what comes with that? And what comes with that is like everybody is not gonna allow you to treat them a certain type of way. People be full-blown demons, man. And let me tell y'all, a full-blown demon, they lack. Hold on. Y'all heard that now, right? People be full-blown demons. Keep that in mind. Now watch what I'm about to say right after this. Mind you, this was 1 month ago, August 10th. This was 1 month ago. Type of way. People be full-blown demons, man. And let me tell y'all, a full-blown demon, they lack compassion. This is how you know they lack compassion. They lack compassion. Yes, Troy, parents are supposed to teach their children right from wrong. But also, an adult, you should be able to call an adult out on their BS. And when they're wrong, you call them out. That's the problem. People be afraid to talk. They be afraid to speak up for themselves. If a person doing you wrong and you know that they're doing you wrong and they're wrong, you speak up and you speak out. Seriously. But y'all hear that? A full-blown demon, they lack compassion. That is one of their characteristics. And you know what's crazy? On September 10th, what happened, y'all? On September 10th, what happened? Charlie Kirk was assassinated. What happened after his assassination? People were mocking his death. Now what happens? The demons are no longer hidden. They right there. They right there in front of you right now. You step outside your door, they all out there. Those are the demons. The same demons that was mocking Charlie Kirk's death. The same demons. A month later, though, they lack compassion. They don't have no love, no compassion, nothing. They feel like, oh, he get what he deserved. That's what he get. He should never been talking about, the LGBT community. He should never been talking about black on black crime. He should never been talking about anything within the black community. That's what he get. A demonic being, okay, that you're amongst, when they have literally not an ounce of compassion. Like they just... Exactly. Celebrating death worldwide. Celebrating death. That's the worst part about it. To celebrate a death. And then these demons, like I showed y'all with somebody for really serious themselves. This boy got hit in the face with a baseball. A baseball. And it wasn't just a soft tap. The boy used a bat and whacked him in the face with a baseball, bro. Come on, man. Then he said, oh, you still alive? Like, that is so demonic. They heartless. Heartless. They don't care about anything. They don't care about consequences. They don't care. Oh, one thing about these demons. Is they really don't care about the consequences. They will literally do something to you and dare you to do something back to them. You know that you're amongst a demonic person when all they talk about is negativity. Mm-hmm. Negative this, negative that. They don't even know how to be positive. You know that you're amongst a demonic person when all they do is just figure out what a chaos is, because they don't want peace. Peace is just too boring to them. You know, when you amongst the demonic person, when all they care about is themselves, they don't want to help anybody, they don't want to help you. And as a matter of fact, they'll help you enough to harm you, to be honest. Well, me and my husband had to deal with a lot of those in our times of being homeless. A lot of demonic, evil friends and so-called family. They claim that they got you, they'll help you, right? And then while you're homeless, they only send you $10 and hope that that'll help you for the rest of your life. And it's like, well, I mean, I gave you $10 already. So, but I'm homeless and you know I am. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe you should fill out some job applications. You can get a job. Right, but I'm homeless. Right? All right, okay. So basically you saying I gotta lay down in the car, what was so crazy, y'all? What showed me that people were very demonic around the times that we were homeless? It wasn't the fact that we was just homeless, right? It was the fact that I was pregnant and homeless. Pregnant and homeless, bro. You want to see a pregnant woman? And guess what that contributed to, guys? Without that support, without that help at that time. Preterm labor. I went into labor, preterm labor. You think anybody felt sorry? No, they didn't. All of those family and those so-called friends that said they got us, that they got our backs and stuff like that. If anything, hit them up, contact them. Well, when we was homeless, y'all didn't help us. Y'all looked down on us. Homeless and I was pregnant. Nobody offered me a couch to sleep on, a bed to sleep in, nothing. Not even a shower to get in. Not even at least wash my ass. At least. They didn't care. I was hungry. They didn't care. Pregnant and homeless and hungry, and they did not care. They watched us suffer. Literally watched us suffer. And then years later, by the grace of God, he blessed us to have our own place. And they felt like, oh, They got them a place, good for them. You know? Still was talking bad on our names, you know? It was crazy. It was everything that we've been through. It's a testimony. It was a journey. And it still is. Still is dealing with a journey right now. You feel me? Giving us frozen food while we sleeping in the car ain't got no cooking. We don't have access to a stove, a fridge. You know, I don't understand. People that give homeless people, you know, don't get me wrong, you could help a homeless person and stuff like maybe canned goods, I don't know. But at the same time, you give a homeless person that's sleeping on the street a goodie bag and it got frozen food in it and refrigerated food and stuff like that, or food that they need to microwave. Can you please tell me how is that helping them? How? They're still homeless. If you ask me, a homeless person needs a place to sleep and lay their head. Real talk. Not on the ground, you know. If you really want to help a homeless person and you're wealthy enough to help a homeless person, you know what would be so crazy, what really grinds my gears sometimes, when I get online on YouTube and I see these people walking up to homeless people and they say, "Hey man, what's up?" You know, giving them interviews and stuff and just giving them a few dollars, maybe $100. And it's like, if you got hella money, you got a lot of, you got 5 million subscribers, and you claim that you helping the homeless, but they still out here sleeping on the streets. These people be wealthy, but they claim that they helping homeless people, and these homeless people still sleeping on the streets. You feel like just because you give them a box with some food in it, with some frozen food and refrigerated food, that you're helping them. And you going back home to your nice mansion and your Lambo truck and your big old what is that, the Tesla truck or whatever that is, and you good, you straight. Meanwhile, they still out there sleeping on the ground, still got to get up and beg for change and stuff like that. But y'all be claiming that y'all helping the homeless. Man, cut it out. You ain't helping the homeless if you ain't trying to make sure they good for real. You ain't helping the homeless if you ain't trying to make sure that they are able to sleep in a bed. And I'm not talking about short term. See, look, let me tell y'all something. I guess I feel like at times I'm the only person that think this way. Maybe it's because I've been homeless before. But one thing that a homeless person needs is shelter. Okay? If you see a homeless person sleeping on the streets and begging for money and saying anything will help, please, I want food, I'm hungry, I need something, you know. Personally, if I got it like that, I'm gonna make sure that I get you some shelter, some real I'm gonna make sure that I put you in a hotel room. If I can't give you room and board and buy you a place or whatever, I'm gonna make sure that you're in a hotel room at least for a year, at least for 2 years, man. For real. And I'm gonna make sure that these homeless people have access to actual resources. Nah, forget a resource. You know what? That's another thing. It's like, oh, resources. Yeah, resources. But when is we gonna actually really help people though? Like really get them in these jobs, like work in these jobs, like know people where they can hire them in immediately. When is we gonna ever do stuff like that? You see a homeless people, a person, and you just give them some food, give them a box of food. And I'm talking about the people that do it for a show. People that do it, I'm not speaking against people that wants to help the homeless, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad for wanting to help the homeless and give them food and stuff. I'm talking about the people that do it for a show, and they do it just to say that they helped somebody, and you really didn't though, because they still homeless. What's up, Gunner? Just stay on topic. Stay on topic. The topic is pinned below. Right, they need shelter and jobs. Person, when they just find reasons to start an argument, a conflict with you. And you ain't even did nothing to them. See, a lot of people that do stuff like that, a lot of people that find any reason to start conflict with you, it's evidently because they're jealous. Okay? In order for a person to dislike you, they have to have there is no way possible that a person is gonna gain an obsession with you and dislike you at the same time unless they're jealous. They jealous of you. I know people personally that had a long time demonic obsession with me. My name was always in their mouth. You know, I wasn't even doing nothing to nobody. And see, that's the thing too. When you trying to reserve your peace and you ain't bothering nobody, somehow, some way, your name always end up in a mix and you ain't even bothering nobody. You haven't even talked to anybody. You just minding your business. You just being you, you know? But they hate that. They hate that because they know that they can get your attention some way, somehow. If, you know, Danny, she blah, 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 blah. And Danny ain't did nothing. Because Danny ain't got nothing to do with nothing and Danny ain't said nothing. Danny don't even talk to nobody. So how the heck did Danny name end up in, like, come on now. That's because people have a obsession and they have a demonic obsession. I don't hang with nobody. I'm just minding my business, but my name is always the topic of discussion. You know, they post pictures of me and stuff like that online. And it's like anytime a person goes that far into disliking you to where they gain an obsession over. You say exactly, just mad because you ain't heard from Danny, so they make up lies to keep you relevant. You know what I'm saying? Just like making up stuff as they go. Yeah, you know, she blah 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 and she and she. That's all you hear is she. It's like I literally do not talk to anybody. The only person I talk to is my husband. Outside of my husband, I pray. Those are the only two people that I talk to, God and my husband. I don't talk to anyone, anybody. I have no ties to anybody at all, except my children. I talk to my children, you know, on the phone from time to time, but I don't have no friends. I don't have any family members that I talk to, you know, so the fact that my name always be coming up is diabolical. For you, it is because they are jealous. They're jealous. And jealousy is a very bad trait to have. It is. Because pride is too. You know, people that's extremely jealous of you and obsessed with you, they will do anything possible there is to take you out. They just want to get you out the picture. They need to remove you out of the picture, you know? People that's jealous of you and stuff, they will go so far. They will go so far. It don't make no sense. Look at what they did to Charlie Kirk. You know, they prey on your downfall. They hate you for your knowledge. Yeah, these are demons. Let's be 100. They hate you for your knowledge. They hate you for what you have, you know. Even though they have more than you majority of the time, they still hate you because I guess you don't have more than them and you are accepting of what you do have. They will never be satisfied. They will never be satisfied unless they take you out. You feel me? They just see demons, they wanna be able to take you out some way, somehow. So even if that means that you got into an accident and you broke your arm or something, they'll be happy. You know, if you ain't here no more, rather you're dead or in jail, they'll be happy. They just don't want to see you exist anymore. They hate your existence. That's the thing. They'll be happy when they can watch you suffer. They want to watch you suffer for nothing. You know, you did nothing wrong. You did no wrong, and they just still want to watch you suffer. April says we live in a camper, but we still do outreach for anyone that needs a shower or a meal and the love of Jesus in their lives. Do what you can. We're exactly, man. Yes, that is a blessing. Real talk. April, we need more people like you on this earth. Seriously. You know, To live in a camper though, and still make sure that you help people, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Seriously. And you said y'all live in a camper, man. Look, are y'all off grid? So hard to the point where, because that is very interesting, you know, that's very interesting to me. And I always always wanted to live in one of those, you know, but I wanted to live like off grid, still do. It can potentially cost you your life, and that's either behind bars or whatever the case may be. They will have people attack you. You know, you said not completely off grid, but in the woods in a smaller, older community. Okay. That's what's up, man. I hope y'all at peace wherever y'all at, man, because the city is just, man, ridiculous to live. Yes, that's what's up, April. You said we are doing what we can where we are. Yes, especially in these times, man. And it you know, it means a lot to actually really be able to help other people, man. To really be able to help other people in these times that we living in, because people, they don't understand. That's the sad part. It's like they see what's going on. They see how hard it is to get a job and how difficult it is to have this and have that and keep this and keep that and maybe take a shower, or, you know, maybe have a place to stay. People see how expensive the economy is, and yet and still they still believe that, hey, you're just making excuses. You're just making excuses. You know, you're just being lazy. You know, they don't want to help. Peace is, you said we have peace. God, yes, man, peace is beautiful. I love peace, man. I don't like chaos. And honestly, living in the city is very chaotic for me. I like the whole living in the woods and, you know, living somewhere far off where you on flat land and there's no other houses around and you got a farm right there. Like, that's my type of living. Oh, the jealousy and the hate in 2025 is a lot more different than 2024, 2023. It's different. It's like the hate that people have in their hearts now is sickening. I can't believe I'm really saying this a month prior to the Charlie Kirk situation. And it was really because I saw it. I saw the chaos already. I didn't know what exactly was going to happen, but it was the fact that I can just feel darkness the minute that I step outside. Even though it's sunny out, even though it's light, I can still see the darkness. I can feel it, and I can feel the demons everywhere. You know, I knew eventually, being that everything is moving at a fast rate, facts, discernment, being that everything is moving at a fast rate, I was literally able to see eventually this world is going to become so demonic and so chaotic. I saw it. I saw it. I didn't know what was going to happen for real, but I mean, it's just crazy. It's sickening because people don't, and what I was trying to say is the hate that people have in their hearts. People had strong hate a month ago. And I knew that it was the hate in their hearts was going to grow stronger and stronger. And guess what? Now it got to the point where people are mocking this man's death online and laughing. They laugh at death now, and, you know, they think it's funny, and they make excuses, and they say, oh, well, you know, he deserved it because he said this, that, and the third. So now it's about what a person says. You know, now it's about what you say. That as to where they'll be able to justify death. So if I say something to that a person disagrees with, I can only imagine the disgusting, nasty things that they think in their mind or that comes out of their mouth just because they disagree. times have for sure changed. Yeah, society, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe that hate has lingered on in people's hearts for a very long time. They just needed the internet to help them get it out. They was tired of holding on. They just needed it to become a trend. And now that it's a trend, everybody's showing their demons. And then guess what, y'all? I bet you very soon, because I said this too. I said this to my husband after Charlie Kirk died. I said, Charlie Kirk to us is not forgotten. But I'm going to be honest with you. The fact that, there's different trends and stuff like that going on, different topics and whatnot, he will eventually be forgotten. And when I say eventually, I mean very soon. They're going to come out with something else, very distracting, and the people are going to be leaning on that and talking about that. You got to think about it. We was just talking about the National Guards coming to Chicago and the drama in Chicago. What happened to those guys that was sitting up there threatening the National Guards? Then nobody's talking about that. Yeah, because you want to know what? Maybe nobody snatched them up, or maybe, somebody did snatch them up, but the internet is no longer talking about that. They made those dudes go viral, and me and my husband was talking about it as well, talking about how evil and demonic Chicago is and stuff like that, and nobody's talking about it anymore because Charlie Kirk's death had replaced that. But what is about to replace, let's think about it, what is about to replace the Charlie Kirk topics? What's about to replace that? Because very soon they're gonna come out with something so distracting. See, they already tried it with the guy, God rest his soul, not saying that we shouldn't talk about that. But, the guy that was hung in Mississippi or whatnot, hung on a tree in Mississippi. They tried it with that one, but it wasn't getting enough attention. So we got to pay attention to these trends and stuff like this and how fast everything is moving out the way. This is literally showing us that we are in the very end of the days. In any given second, man. Yes. You said just like every mainstream story will change. Yeah. All it takes is the news media to push something out there to get the people talking. Social media, push something out there to get the people talking. Make something go viral and become very distracting, and watch and see how nobody's going to be talking about Charlie Kirk anymore. I'm telling you, man. Real talk. Man, seeing other people dead. They don't mind seeing that. They record you dead. They record you pleading and asking for help. People record every damn thing nowadays. Recording. And this is just the hate that people got, though. You said, welcome to the live, engage, subscribe, about some real stuff. And the reason why I had brought this to the live today is because a lot of people have been experiencing, like I said, what me and my husband been experiencing, which is demonic energy at all time. It's different. Like, it's different. Every year is different. And the only reason why it's different every year because it enhances. So this year, 2025, it's like the evil that we live amongst it enhanced. It enhanced to the point where people are so evil, and the hate that they give you, the hate that they have for you, is different. It's the type of hate to the point where they will not mind seeing you in the hospital or dead or just with nothing or bad. I just can't believe that I said this a month before Charlie Kirk's death. August the 10th, 2025. This was me talking. literally. And I still, it's unbelievable because it's like what I said. People, they just want to see you dead. They hate you so much they want to see you dead. They want to see you. They want to see you in a hospital. Clinging to life. They'll be happy. I'm telling you, when you disagree with someone, when you say something or you do something that is not to their liking, and I'm talking like you ain't even did nothing wrong. It's what you do that's right that they hate. The devil always hates things that's right. He hates people that are trying to be righteous. He hates anything correct. You said April. April says, I haven't seen any videos of Charlie Kirk or the young woman that was killed. I don't want those images burned in my brain. Protect your eyes, ears, and heart. Yeah, it's crazy because I ended up seeing that video. I came across that video because somebody literally uploaded that. And I think it was a news channel that had uploaded. And they actually ended up showing this man. Like, I couldn't believe it. Was really sickening, to be honest. The fact that the media is putting this out there and they leaving it out there for the whole entire world to watch it like it's some sort of movie. It is sick, the things that they do. The things that they do. Bars. I knew that 2025 was going to be a very, very wicked year when my neighbor died in front of my house. People saw him fall on the ground and die, and they didn't even run to his aid. They didn't even run to help him. They stood outside when me and my husband came out the house to help this man. And we thought that he was gonna wake up. We thought he just passed out the whole time. This man literally died. What the fuck do you think people did? They stood around and watched, and some chick was trying to record. Nobody wanted to pitch in and help. This is our neighbor here. People coming out of their houses, watching this man on the ground, watching me and my husband trying to, watching me and my husband trying to revive him. Unfortunately, there was children that were standing around that saw the whole entire thing up close and personal. Where the fuck do you think their parents were? In the house, chilling, kicking their feet up. And then when they kids run in the house and tell them what happened, now they want to bring their asses outside. They didn't even offer to help. They just stood around. Just stood there watching. I knew, like I said, I knew 2025 was going to be a very wicked year when my neighbor died in front of my house, and me and my husband was the only two that ran out to try and save his life. And everybody else, they came out and they was just staring at us. They didn't even try to help. You got people recording, stuff like that. I mean, I got so upset. I literally had to pray. I'm like, Lord, please calm me down right now, because there's people literally recording instead of helping. They just standing in front of their doorways, just standing there watching us. People are so evil, man. April says, too many of my friends, family and friends, saw it unintentionally. Yeah, same here. She said, I was a volunteer firefighter and I've seen death firsthand. Those images do not go away. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you said, I am a black 34-year-old man who grew up in Chicago. Trust images. Yes, we were both born and raised in Chicago, still live here in the city of Chicago, not just around Chicago, not outside of Chicago. Like, we literally live in Chicago. And I'm telling you, like, it is so ridiculously violent out here. And people think that it's funny. You know, the kids, they mock death. They used to doing it. So, and it's sad and it's sick how the parents literally help their children mock deaths too. You know, they help they little sons go find the ops. They're giving them guns and all type of stuff to go find where the ops are. They're pushing their children out here to do this stuff. Y'all wonder why this drill rap music is constantly happening and stuff like that? It's because the parents are actually welcoming it. They actually allowing it. These dudes, they out here doing all this drill rap music. They looking for their ops. They gunning them down, and then they going back in the house with their moms and their grandmothers and stuff, and going to bed after they do it. I don't understand how they can sleep at night, but obviously it's because they're soulless. I'm watching. This is the world that we live in 2025. People will literally watch your ass die. Yeah. Take your last breath. And as long as they can record it, and recording is actually beneficial to them because all they crave is fame. So yeah, if they can record it, they'll gladly watch. They'll gladly stand right there. Because it's going, whatever, people do whatever to get clout any type of way. And it's a shame. Popularity off of recording someone's death. Right. When you can pitch in and help. Right. But how was your phone the first thing that you think of when you see tragedy? Make it make sense, dude. This is not normal. It's not normal, but it's being normalized, and it's been normalized for some time. How is it that people's phones are the first thought that comes to their mind when they see tragedy unfold before their eyes? It's like, oh snap, wait a minute, I gotta get my phone out, I gotta go live, I gotta show the whole world. Facebook, look, somebody just died over here. They got hit by a 18-wheeler. Y'all see that? Oh, look at the blood. It's on the streets. It's on the side. Like, I mean, if you ask me, I feel like we have a bunch of wannabe movie directors. Like, I feel like we have a bunch of Hollywood actresses in the making because everybody wants to be an actor. Everybody wants to record something and be the best cameraman ever. And, you know, they just want that recognition. They feel like they'll be some type of hero if they record tragedy. What is wrong with people? I see people recording things, and you want to know what's crazy? You know, the news media is the biggest influence. The news media is the biggest influence on people recording things because people believe that they can become relevant if they get their videos into the news media so that they can go viral. People believe that as long as something can make them go viral, that's all that matters. They don't care. You said their favorite line is check on y'all. Exactly. Check on your people. That's all they do because that's the excuse that they use. When they see tragedy, the first thing they think about is pulling out their phone and recording it and saying, oh, check on your people. Somebody died over here on 79th and Cottage Grove. Check on your people. And it's like, well, why don't you check on them without your phone? Technology has turned people into literal demon zombie bots. Demon zombie bots. It's to the point where people don't care about shit. They don't care about nothing but their phones. All they care about is their phones. All they care about is their phone. When somebody lose their phone, they go crazy. When they screen crack up on their phone, they go crazy. They go crazy. When they're unable to use their phone, they go crazy. Come on, man. This is not normal. Like, people, these are the same adults that we live amongst. The same adults that we live amongst that go crazy when something happens to their phone. It's just ironic how we all grew up in the same era without phones. So why do you let your phone get the best of you? How do you let a temporary ass device that can go out on you at any given second, how do you allow that to control you? You said it is obvious that we were raised different, because any type of danger, I'm going the other way, not stopping and recording. You know, it's people that's recording mass shootings happening and stuff like that. Like, they really believe that they will be a hero if they record stuff like that. Now, the only time that I'm going to record something is when I see that the police is bothering me and my husband, and they're harassing us. They're going to get recorded. Harass us in public, whether you a police officer or not, you're going to get recorded for sure. Because I need those recordings to present it. All right. But I'm not about to record a tragedy, man. I'm not going to record something happening to somebody. And I'm going to be honest with you, though. You know, times change and people change, rather that's for the worse or rather that's for the better. And I could say that I am people, because I would probably say maybe a year ago or maybe months ago or whatever, I would have recorded things or whatnot. But ever since my neighbor died in front of my house, that literally changed my whole entire mindset of like, why would I run to my phone and grab my phone and say, oh, hold on, I gotta show the world. Wait. Even though he's dying, let me grab my phone and record. Everybody, look, this is my neighbor. He's dying. So, like, come on, bro. I didn't grab my phone or nothing. I didn't even think to record. And you know, I believe that the last time I recorded a situation happening was this had to be early this year. It was a horrible car accident, and the police had already arrested the person, but he tried to run off. He slammed into this other car. It was way after the situation happened is when I pulled out my phone and I recorded. And I was just trying to show people what had happened. Now, I really don't do stuff like that. I don't really care to do stuff like that. But yeah, you know, Charlie Kirk situation definitely opened up my eyes to a lot of things. Real talk, you know. Okay. Well, we're going to go a few more minutes or whatever. When the app is not working on their phone, they go fucking nuts. When the Wi-Fi is out, they go crazy. I'm telling you, man, when social media dies, people are gonna go insane. When Google Play stops working, or the Apple Store or whatever it is, people are gonna go insane. When the Wi-Fi goes out completely and there is no such thing as a Wi-Fi or the internet, man, you thought you seen chaos now? Just wait on it. When there is no access to the internet whatsoever, they go crazy. Yeah, facts. We gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy, honestly. I'm okay with being without the internet, y'all. Like, me and my husband, and I'm sure a lot of y'all other people, adults, have grew up without the internet, okay? We really don't need it, to be honest. How is it really benefiting us? Please. Did it benefit us back then? I mean, well, my bad. I can't even say that. When there was no internet, life was a lot more better without the internet, to be honest. It was. You know, people didn't have they facing their phone all day. I see these kids at the park, right? You know, kids do not play like how we used to play back when we were kids. I see the kids, they come outside and the first thing they do is they pull out their phones and they sit down. And they don't even really play. They do, they play. I would say they probably play for a few minutes, and after that they all got their phones out. You know, these kids, they go into the park and they don't even swing on the swings. And even when they do, they play on their phones while they on the swings. They sit in groups on the slides to the point where kids can't even go down the slide when they do want to play. And they sit on their phones all day. They be on their tablets. Like, come on now, what are we doing, bro? These kids don't even know what fun is. They don't even know what activity is. They don't know what that is. Activities? What? Activities? You mean activities in my phone? Can I have my phone? Can I see your phone? Kids always asking, can they see your phone? Can I see your phone? Can I play a game on your phone? Can I get on YouTube on your phone? Please, can I see your phone? And then when you tell them no, they flip out. And it's because y'all have been introducing them to the internet for too long. Letting them sit in front of the TV, sitting on their phone. You buying them phones and they're kids. They need to enjoy life as a kid, not a phone. You said the last accident I worked was a 23-year-old father who had hit a car broadsided. He was thrown 50 yards past the car he hit into the turning lane, and people were trying to drive around him. Oh my gosh, bro. People are so evil. You said they were trying to drive around him to take the video. Made me sick in my stomach to see what a voyeuristic society we live in. Yes. Yes, man. I think it is a mosquito in here that is attacking me, bro. And I'm getting bit up right now. Yes, they are crazy, man. They sit here and they record tragedy. Like, I'm telling you, y'all, we live amongst a bunch of Hollywood actors, you know, people that want to be movie directors. They want to be the best cameramen there is. They want to be they just want a golden medal for the best cameraman there is. Congrats to the cameraman. That's all I can say. You see a tragedy in a video and you talking about congrats to the cameraman for keeping this. Like, why would you want to see that anyway? Make it make some sort of sense. Man, people are crazy. You can't tell me that you ain't no zombie bot. You cannot tell me that you ain't no zombie bot if you go crazy as hell over a damn device. Over a device. It does. Because it's, if you ask me, it's Satan's devices. You know? You said, I think the phone causes a disconnect from our heart. It does. It helps. It definitely contributes. The social media, the news media, I'm just grateful every day that I still have love in my heart, that I still have compassion, that I still have a soul. Because, you know, these people that walk amongst us, they're humans, but they're just flesh. That's all they are. They're just walking flesh. They have no soul. You know, there's nothing but darkness hovering over them, darkness all inside of them. Just straight antimatter. Just no goodness in them. Real talk. The only time that they're happy is when they get to eat seafood boils and go out and party all day long and leave their kids in the house and turn up and drink and smoke and everything that you could think of under the sun that's wrong on a Friday, Saturday. Then they go to church on a Sunday. And then they wake their kids up to go to school on Monday. And they get pissed off at their children when they don't move fast enough to get to school. Then when the children come home, they don't even want to parent them. They just don't never want to parent. That's the thing. Like, I just, man. You know, one thing I'm big on too is just the parenting. It's like the parenting, it sucks. It sucks. ridiculously. It's to the point where people, they just don't want to parent anymore. Why are you constantly having children and not wanting to be a parent to your children? Because they focus too much on the fun way of life. Man, I just want to go to the Bahamas and I just want to live it up with my girls, you know? I'm gonna go and get my hair done, and we're gonna go on a road trip, and we're gonna do this, and we're like, everybody just wanna. And I'm not saying that you can't enjoy and have fun and be happy and stuff like that, but people just want to dwell in the wrong things, and they believe that that's fun. They believe that doing the wrong things is fun, and they feel like, man, before I leave this earth, I just want to do some things that I've never done before. Like, I just want to binge going to I just want to binge drink. What do they call it, y'all? Man, it just slipped my mouth. Slipped my damn mind, but y'all get what I'm saying. People just want to dwell into doing the wrong things before they leave this earth. Instead of walking the right way and doing the righteous thing before they leave, they would prefer the wrong thing. You said my grand littles have no access to technology for, you said your your grandchildren. Our child right now, she has like, seriously, I was just about to say that. Our child, she doesn't have a tablet. She won't have a phone. None of that, man. None of it. She watches television every now and then. We try not to keep her in front of the TV that long at all. The most that we would do, the most that we will allow her to watch is like 30 to 45 minutes, but we chop it up. We chop it up. Because your children, when you turn that TV on and they some little ones, they sit in front of the TV and it's like, you know what I'm saying? And they don't move. They don't move a bit. Especially if they like what they see on television. This is them. They glued to the TV. And like, I don't like that. I just literally don't like seeing stuff like that. Yes, Anwar, what's up? You said these phones are portals and the spirits that come from them has changed the world. Changed the world. The television is a portal too, if you ask me. When you put a child in front of the TV and they pretty much might as well say drooling at the mouth when the television is on, because they just so stuck and they don't even move. That is just crazy to me. My phone screen, I dropped my phone before and the screen cracked up so bad. I still was using it, cutting my fingers and everything. Yeah. You want to know why? Because it was still useful. I was still able to get a good use out of it. And eventually I did get the screen fixed. But the amount of money that you would spend to get your screen fixed is the same amount that you can use towards getting a whole new phone. Getting a new phone, like. But I'm so humble. I used it for a very long time. For a very long time without complaining. Facts. Hold on. You said you can order a car through your phone, a house, food, pet food, liquor, etc. Technology it took over, man. They have made it to where you could place an order for a vehicle. Make it make sense. You can reserve your flights and everything through your phones now. I cannot wait to this go away. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. We were perfectly fine when there was no phones. Perfectly fine until the phones came about, and then every year, every month, they enhance technology and they make the phones look better, and everybody is just spending all this money on these dumb iPhones and getting the upgrades, and the iPhone 62. The iPhone 62. People are so deep into their phones to the point where I guarantee you, if they decide to take away phones and they say, you know what, we are now going to take away the phones and we're going to make it to where everybody has a phone, but you have to program your phone into your hand, and you know, they make it to where it's just like the digital upgrade is in your hand. You not know how the whole world to go do that? That's, I mean, pretty much the whole world would do that. When the beast system comes, the world will love to do it. They will have no problem. Did they really just do that? Did they just disconnect my... Y'all, YouTube don't like me talking about this. Now they got my live all laggy and stuff. Wow. Put a 1 if y'all can still hear me and see me. Just, man, they really hate when you talk about stuff like this. Yeah, they don't want me to say the truth at all. Okay, I see Anwar says 1. Okay. They got an app for literally everything. They want to paralyze the world. Y'all, I remember one time I put our daughter in daycare. So the director was like, you know, at first it was like, oh, just sign in, you know, sign in. And so then months later down the line, she was like, okay, well, now we have it where, you know, you can sign her in through the app. You know, you scan the barcode right there and you type in. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this, man. Then they got the kids in the TV all day. You know, they got the children playing with tablets. And I don't want my child in a daycare center like that. So now I just want to say this. We are her daycare center. I don't even want my child in school, okay? I don't trust these schools. I don't trust the school system. I don't trust none of these daycare centers. I don't trust not a soul. Seriously. And we're raising her the correct way. We're raising her right. You know, don't need her, you know, they put the babies in front of the television in these child care centers. Y'all got to make sure that y'all really paying attention what's going on in these child care centers when you drop your kids off, for real. Because when you sneak up on them from time to time, just take off work. Take off work or take you a lunch and go up there and just sneak in on them. I'm telling you, they be having the kids drawn into the TV all day. And they have the kids doing things that you don't even agree with. Nah, not for my child. Her dad and her mom will be raising her at home. Okay? Homeschool is the way, if you ask me. Homeschooling is the way. Right, putting chips in the brain. YouTube, what you gonna do? Disconnect me again? Like, man, they really don't want me to talk about it. Anwar says, I like the convenience of ordering online, especially knowing that they being around miserable people. That's the only thing that I do like, also, Anwar. But honestly, I'm gonna be 1,000 with you. See, I used to work in a restaurant industry and the food industry. And one of the spots I used to work at, Little Caesars Pizza, and people used to place online orders. They don't know what the hell goes on. Oh my gosh, bro. They don't know what goes on with their orders for real. Because you placing an order because you don't want to deal with an angry person, right? But at the same time, though, the people still be angry when they handling your food. The people that I used to work around, man, I'm telling you, they would get upset, right? When there's customers calling, like, oh yeah, I wanted this on my pizza. Or when they would say the way that the order is placed and they don't like the way that the order was placed. When we have to read the screen and we see that this person placed an online order and then, you know, DoorDash or somebody has to come and pick it up. My coworkers used to get so pissed off that one time they dropped the pizza on the floor, picked it back up and put it in a box. And they would be doing things to the food, like for real, out of straight anger, just because they were irritated themselves. I really didn't like how none of my coworkers, I was the only one that would always wash my hands. And I hate to say this, I know a lot of y'all probably gonna be like, what the hell? I felt like I was the only one that was washing my hands and keeping my hands clean, bro. My coworkers would go inside of the freezer department and smoke weed, not wash their hands. They were actually smoking weed on the job, in the job, okay? In the back where the pizza was at, where the ingredients for the pizza was at. Smoking weed all in the back, turned up. And then going back, and they was coming out the bathroom, not washing their hands, because even it was told to us, even when you use, you know what was so sickening about it though? The bathroom was literally right there by where we make the pizza at, where the pizza station was. That was disgusting because my coworkers were disgusting, okay? So why y'all think y'all eating some real good fresh pizza, you really eating boo-boo pizza. I'm gonna just be 100. You know, it was stinking. It was stinking in there. You know, they stank. And then they don't wash their hands, because even when you use the bathroom, of course you're supposed to wash your hands, but they want us to come out of the bathroom and go to the station to wash our hands again. And none of them was doing that. They was just coming out the bathroom, stinking, and making a pizza. Going in the other freezer department, smoking and making the pizzas. Oh, trust me, I have worked in the restaurant industry, the fast food industry, and they were doing some things in there. Okay? I've worked in some nice places, you know, they were doing some disgusting, man, I'm sad to say this, but man, this is exactly why I really would cook at home. I would prefer. Uh, you said it's blocking your comments. What? How is it? Hold on, let me see. This. Mr. Kane, can you see Anwar's comments? Because I would be able to see it on my end. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see anything else other than uh, you know, ordering online. That's all I see. And it's probably YouTube, to be honest. They always look at what they doing to me. Every time I get to talking about some real stuff, they get to try to disconnect my live stream. You said they won't let you send it. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, YouTube probably just don't want the truth. Are you saying that you typed the number one? Because if you saying that you typed the number one, then I saw that. Anybody else would have been rushing to hurry up and get their screen fixed or get a new phone. Yeah. Because they feel like in their minds they can't use their phone at all. Like, it's not useful. That's the problem with society. They rush and run to go get everything. Like, literally, if their phone breaks, you know, and it's not fully broken, the screen is just cracked and that's it, but it's still useful, they have to go get another phone. They will literally overwork themselves and everything, put in extra hours or take out money out their savings account to go get another phone. Like, me personally, I'm going to keep using it until it's not useful anymore. Every time I crack my screens, you know, I'm still using my phones. I will use the phone until the screen blacks out and fades away. For real. As long as I know that the important numbers that I need is written down on a sheet of paper. That's all. That's it. That's all. Because it's really other forms of contact. Real talk. The love that people have for their phones is ridiculous. And I just be sitting trying to understand. They don't express that same love for the Most High God, though. They got all this love for their phones, and they got all this love for the internet and for these different apps and stuff like that, and Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok and Instagram and all of that. They got all this different love for all these different apps. And you know what? Speaking of this, man, I just want to say something. One thing that I am so sick and tired of seeing on YouTube, or these content creators that do food reviews. I am so tired of I don't want to keep seeing you slurp up noodles in your mouth talking about 10, solid 10. I give them a 10. Okay, tasting real good. And then there's you and like 5 million other people that's doing the same exact thing, man. I'm so sick and tired of seeing the food reviews and stuff. Like, y'all be eating this extremely unhealthy food, doing food reviews. Eating chicken. You know, people are so weird that they like seeing mukbangs. Or mukbangs, or however the hell you say it. They like watching people slob and eat food and have food in the corners of their mouth and drooling with chicken and stuff, chicken grease dripping all down their shirts. Like, that I don't understand. They like seeing the women with these long nails doing the seafood boils and breaking the damn crab legs in half and sucking the meat out the crab legs. And like, how do y'all get a kick out of watching stuff like that? That is just so disgusting to me. Honestly, I'm really tired of seeing it. Once upon a time, I was like, oh, okay. I like how they doing the little food reviews and stuff like that, because now I know that. But then again, after a while, I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing the whole world be a food reviewer. Just nasty, disgust. I don't want to see you with buffalo sauce on the tip of your nose. Just because you dabbed into the chicken so good, it was so good that you got the sauce all up underneath your eyes and on your face. And you just burping and everything. Burping, just, like, I'm tired of seeing that stuff. For real. You said, dude said 1K to see your toes. Just weird. Just weirdos, Anwar says, I worked at a grocery store for 25 years and people are hateful these days. It is like being around a walking dead. You know what I'm saying? Society is corrupting. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right, mouth. You know what? I tell my children, hey, don't talk with food in your mouth, because that's nasty. Why would I want to see if you telling your children to not talk with food in their mouths, why are you watching a food reviewer online do food reviews with food in their mouth? And they talking with food in their mouth, they smacking, eating chicken wings and eating rib tips and all this unhealthy, And you know what's crazy? It's more black people. Black people do food reviews. All I see is black people doing food reviews, honestly. Slurping and all type of stuff. Like, I don't want to hear you, they eat the food and then they like, so we're gonna get at a solid 9, okay? We're gonna get at a 9. I know y'all probably like, oh no, why 9? It was better than that, but they were still good. So next, we're gonna go to this other restaurant. So damn, you ain't full yet? Jeez. And then you know what's crazy? Majority of the time, the food review is being shape. But you know this is exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that they have a high influence on making sure that the world is unhealthy, okay? These food reviewers, I don't know if they get what they're doing, but you're making it to where people are more attracted to going to the restaurants and overfilling themselves with this unhealthy, disgusting ass food. Because, yeah, it might taste good, but it's bad for you. Like seriously, it's bad for you. You know, next thing you know, you on the toilet all night. Oh man, why he ain't tell me about that burger with the sauce on it? Oh, my stomach messed up. Then they go back to the restaurant again. I'm telling you, man, society is just so dumbed down. It don't make no sense. And if it ain't one thing I'm sick of the seafood, crab boils, and all of that, man. The little seafood boils. You females is just, they love like breaking the crab legs in half and sucking the meat out of it with their nails, with the meat all up underneath their nails and licking it. Like, we know what you do for a living. Okay, crumbs in the corner. Exactly. You got fish and shrimp crumbs in the corner of your mouth. You got how you got crumbs all up underneath your eyelid, underneath your eyes, underneath you got crumbs. How the crumbs get right here though? Like, did you just wake up or did you just wake up eating? Because they be just wait. You know what's crazy? They do the little food reviews fresh out the bed. You ain't even wash your ass and you putting on clothes to go do a food review. Yep, to go get this YouTube money for to do this food review. You just, I mean, and then they just act like they really somebody walking into the walking into these restaurant establishments. Yeah, y'all know who I am. Y'all know I do the little food reviews and stuff like that. So go ahead and give me that. What y'all got? Okay, let me get that $15 tray. Did you eat the night before or not? You got a whole doggone platter sitting right in front of you finna eat the whole. I'm telling you, I seen this one lady. Man, I seen this one lady. I don't know what she want to be. I don't know if she want to be a woman or a man. But anyway, she called herself doing a food review. And she got this gigantic drink in her car. And it got the big old straw, the candy straw. And then she got this huge platter of unhealthy food. And she's just eating and eating. And then what is wrong with y'all with why do y'all like listening to the satisfying sounds of someone eating and slurping? What is, I'm telling you, man, we live in a really, really weird, strange world, man. People, they get a kick out of listening and hearing. You know, speaking of that, let me tell y'all, it was this one person, right? Real true gang stalker. This one person said, they said, you know, when I be driving, I stop at the red lights and I listen to people conversations. I roll down my windows to listen to them talk because I like listening to people talk. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with people, man? And then they like listening to your conversations. They listen so hard to you to the point where they don't have no input, but what they got to say is in their head because they're afraid to say it to you out loud. But they be listening and watching you and stuff like that. You know, they watch you. I mean, it's diabolical. This world that we live in, a bunch of watchful people. You might as well call this watchful United States of America. The United States of America, the watchers, you know, the listeners, the weirdos, for real. You know what I'm saying? The food reviewers be like, what y'all think I should get next? And then you got the comment section full of hungry ass people. You should go to Buffalo Wild Wings next and get that the big old platter that they serving and get the barbecue, get the honey, get the new one, the atomic wings, you know, get the and it's like, damn, this is one person, not five. The hell wrong with y'all? City Views Facts. You said that sounds great, but they don't make healthy food. You know what? I'm telling you, boy. I'm telling you, they literally do not make healthy food affordable. You know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. In the low income communities, all they do is put unhealthy ass restaurants out here. We definitely need to have a longer conversation about this for real. But they put unhealthy ass fast food restaurants all in liquor stores all throughout the low income community, and expensive grocery stores that sells horrible produce. The produce is so spoiled and old and rotten and stuff, but y'all be talking about eating healthy. Me, regardless, they be, in low income communities, even when they go in the grocery store, they carts be stacked with unhealthy stuff. Chips, juices, pops, shrimps, and everything that they need for their seafood boils so they can review their seafood boils and stuff and do their mukbangs at home. So if you ask me, yeah, Trump ain't wrong for taking, snacks and stuff out the EBT. He's not wrong. I feel like he should do that. I do. And I feel like another thing that he should do is make it to where they put cheaper grocery stores in the low income communities with better produce. You know, cabbage and greens and things like that. It needs to be a lot more fresh because it's not. Yeah. People will literally watch you and not like any of your videos. They'll keep binge watching you and they won't like nothing. They won't even comment. They just like watching you. And then when you say something about it, it's like, okay, and I be watching you. Right. And that's all you doing is just watching. You ain't got nothing to say. You just watching me. You just looking at me like, damn, is you listening to anything that is you taking in anything that I'm saying though? But that's the thing, me and my husband, we literally, when we go out into the world, we have to be quiet. And when we talk, we have to talk amongst each other quietly, silently, like. And then even still, people have these like bionic ass ears to the point where they can hear your whole conversation even when you talking low. What is going on with the world? They are weird, bro. They weird. They love listening to your conversation even when it has nothing to do with them. They listen to you, they watch you, they stalk you, and they just be worried about your life. Meanwhile, they doing reviews, food reviews and stuff. Comment in the comment section of the food reviewers. Yeah, I feel like you should go to McDonald's next and get the new chicken nuggets that they just came out with. The atomic barbecue hot wing mixed with French fry grease chicken nuggets. Right. They listen to you out the windows, all type of stuff. They be cracking their windows when you sitting outside minding your own business. You on the phone just trying to have you a little conversation with somebody. They cracking their windows trying to listen. Let me listen. Ooh, she talking about so and so that live across the street. Whole time you not. You ain't even talking about them. They just assume that because people like chaos. They like problems. Right. Let me buy the demonic. Let me get the demonic dip nuggets. Like what? I'm telling you, bro. People is just so weird. You know. Let me get the new Cardi B Happy Meal. The Cardi B Happy Meal. Y'all should go try the Cardi B Happy Meal. Like they be so obsessed with these celebrities that when the celebrities had their little meals and stuff at McDonald's, Burger King, and all that, these people go buy it. And it tastes the same. It's the same thing. The same meal that you get all the time. It's the same thing. The only difference is it say Cardi B. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Yeah, you say I believe the world would love a demonic meal on my soul. Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not finna stay on here long at all, even though I already did 3 hours and 18 minutes. I actually wanted to play the rest of this video, but I'm not. I'm gonna save it for another day. Something is seriously wrong with people. And obviously we know it is because the demons are no longer hiding. They are out there, and that's what it is. I just want to say another thing is Barack Obama is so, oh my gosh. Dude is just so weird. Dude is so weird, This dude, he really he did what he did when he was in office, because the whole entire time he was married to a he, not a she. But that's a story for another day. Nevertheless, y'all, I gotta get up out of here. Nevertheless, I'm out. Wake them folks up.